keeping the NT
starting
open
soon.
for business and for keeping COVID out.
A year and a half later, with the government in trouble and citing
Alrighty.
family reasons,
I hope people
Mr Gunner had resigned.
much more.
Started. Okay, the
And turbulence
stream
followed.
seems to be
His
up.
successor, Natasha Files, resigned after less
I will
than
go
2
check.
years in the job over
For you.
undeclared mining shares, replaced by
Hello,
Ian
everyone.
Paula,
Who has
government facing
tuned
growing
in?
pressure
Did you actually do like
and
community
crime
announcement for this?
and
Yes, I
cost of
did. I
living.
did. But I haven't actually.
Liberal Party
I haven't
leader
actually.
Leah Finocchiaro
I just
had
told them
said
to
before.
stay tuned
At the
for it.
last election, she helped the party gain 6 seats.
Stay tuned.
enough to
Oh,
give
okay.
her job.
Alright.
Tonight, she's hoping to return the CLP to power.
Right.
As polls close,
I
election
don't see it
ends
yet.
Right here, right now. We're about to get the people's verdict.
Live
me
from Darwin
make
on
sure that
Larrakia
I-
Country. Welcome to NT.
Do you have like a link for it or something?
Sure. Stream settings. Stream URL copy. Here we go. Sending it your way now.
Right. Not on my subscriptions.
I'm doing.
That's not the link. That's not the link. What you just sent me.
This says stream URL.
Welcome to the ABC.
That's the URL for you, I think. I don't think it's the URL for your viewers.
We're live on ABC television and local
Can you just
radio
check?
throughout
Go to
the
Sormon's YouTube
plus
page.
around the country on
Go
the
to
ABC news channel.
and there should be a
Hello
section
to
for
you,
lives.
wherever you are watching or listening to us this evening.
Yeah, I did that and there was nothing there.
Oh, the videos are private. That's
across
why.
the Northern Territory, which means counting
okay.
will soon get underway.
Why the
and we'll
heck is
start
it
to
on
get an idea of
private?
how
I don't know.
Territorians have voted.
It wouldn't be an ABC election without our chief election analyst, Anthony Green. Anthony, welcome back to the Territory. COVID kept you out 4
bro,
years
back.
ago. It's great to see you back in town.
10 seconds.
Good to be back.
Can you take us through the current state of play for the Territory Parliament?
Well, look, we'll start with the position of the last election when the Gunner government was re-elected. What we saw then was the Labor Party got back with 14 seats. The Country Liberals increased from 2 to 8 seats.
Here we go.
There were two
Visibility,
independents,
public.
And the Territory
Done.
Alliance
I don't know
was around
why it
last
was
election,
private,
polled
but
by
now it's
40%
public.
of the vote, and
Hopefully it
Robin
should be
Lamney was
visible now.
returned for the Territory Alliance at the last election. What's happened then? Since then, we've had a few
Right, can you
changes.
check someone
Firstly,
now?
the Country Liberals are down to 7. They lost the daily by-election, which gave Labor an extra seat. Labor lost the seat when the member for Blaine, Mark Turner, was departed from the party. He joined the crossbenchers, and Robin Lamney's becoming an independent again. So we're starting position tonight is Labor 14, Country Liberals 7, others for Labor. If they lose 2 seats, they lose the majority. The Country Liberals need 6 seats for majority government. Somewhere between 2 and 6 seats will produce a minority government of one shade or the other. The battle
says I have
will be
one
for the two
concurrent viewer
sides
at the moment,
to end
so
up
it
with
looks
more
like
seats
people are finding the
if
video.
there is going to be a hung parliament.
Anthony, of course, we'll bring viewers numbers from right across the Territory tonight, but where is this election likely to be won and lost?
Well, the first thing, the swing is likely to be against the current government. That's the way what happens after 2 terms. So we're expecting the battle to be fought mainly in Labor seats, Country Liberals trying to win seats. But the first thing the party has to do is hold its own seats. They won Barclay by only 5 votes last time. This is an electorate twice the size of Victoria, but only has 6,000 voters, covers a third of the territory. So that's the first seat the CLP must hold. And there's a lot of remote outback seats, remote polling in that electorate. The next up is Namatjira, which also runs into the outback, but comes right into Alice Springs. Where
Alright, I'm back.
Cool. Were you able to find the video?
It's not expected to be in.
Let me check.
Yeah, it was actually.
It's not on live.
The next seat that the Labor, the CLP want to gain.
Not on live.
I made it public though, so it should be.
There we go. Okay, I can see it. I can see it. There's 9 people watching. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Cool. Okay.
Okay. They can hear us.
Then they move into Darwin.
Yeah.
Port Darwin is a natural CLP.
That's right. I might be a bit loud.
Darwin seat.
Hello,
You're fine.
Cameron Bye.
Are you a bit loud on the stream? Are you louder than?
The first time in Labor it ever
Let me see. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're about the same as me.
No, I'm okay. I think I'm okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello, welcome to the stream. This is the Northern Territory election. Do you want to do a proper intro, someone?
Yeah, so welcome to the NT election, guys. Live from Darwin. Well, me specifically, Eli. Where are you at the moment, Aussie Select?
Sydney. I'm in Sydney.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm up in Darwin at the moment, visiting family, but also loosely covering the election. So I've actually just spent all day going around Darwin visiting all the polling booths. I've actually been just here I was in Drysdale earlier today. I actually got to meet Eva Lawler and Leah Finocchiaro, who is the two candidates running to be the next chief minister of the ACT. So
You got to meet them. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah, I got photos. So I'm trying my luck out with a vlog. I've vlogged the election, so I'm gonna compile it together, and fingers crossed, it will be good.
With us on the desk is former Chief Minister, Labor's Natasha Files.
Ah, yes.
Actually, currently eating. Hello, everyone. By the way, Cameron by Raf Schmuel, Fraser Flyer 29, and Hojo Hideyoshi. Hello, everyone.
Who's based in Darwin and has covered the campaign closely. Tom, unlike
And I'm currently eating my dinner.
have many published polls to help give us a sense of the numbers.
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about this election. So there was like some opinion polls like back in June, which pointed to basically like a dead heat.
Can you send me a link to that?
The scenes, as you mentioned, there's not much
Yeah.
There's been a lot of speculation as to the final result tonight. Everything from a
Hang on.
massive CLP through to a Labour minority.
Before that, it was pointing to basically like going to be like a CLP, Country Liberal Party like sort of landslide election, like 54-46 or like 56-44. But that poll pointed to a narrowing of the race, but it is only one poll, so you know, you don't know if you can trust that or not, you know. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so it actually didn't have a two-party preferred. It only had primary votes, and the primary votes were equal, except the article noted that preferences tend to go more towards the Labour Party. So it actually put the Labour Party ahead a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. Normally the Liberal Party or coalition. Well, so just a quick run through about why there's no Liberal in this election. For those of you who don't know, the Liberal Party and the Country Party merged back in the 70s to form the Country Liberal Party, and they run as a sort of a single party, and they use orange as their colour. So yeah, it's a bit strange. They're like the only Liberal Party. Well, actually, they're actually part of the Nationals today, not part of the.
Yeah.
Although again, they don't use green; they use orange. It's just interesting.
Yeah. It is weird how they call themselves the Country Liberal Party, but they're more sort of tied to the Nationals. I know, like
they caucus with the
what's the
Nationals.
name?
Just at Price, yeah.
Yeah, misinformation. You know, like is part of the Nationals, and she sits with the Nationals rather, and she's part of the Country Libs. She might even be Nationals leader after the next election. We'll see.
I'm not entirely sure about that, but yeah. So anyway, as I was saying earlier, I was actually out and about at the polling booths today because I'm in Darwin. Got to have the chance to meet Eva. So for those of you who don't know, Labour won under a guy named Mike Gunner. He resigned due to stress from COVID and was replaced by a woman named Natasha Files, who then found to be having a conflict of interest with shares. As she resigned and was replaced by the treasurer, Eva Lawler. So there's actually been two switchovers in leaders. It's a bit similar to the UK at the last election. So there's obviously a lot of concern about Labour going into this election with their third best man, if you know what I mean. Or woman in this case.
Centre in Darwin. Bella, good evening to you. We can see votes being sorted behind you.
So, hello, by the way, to Drop Liu and Yex. When was there last time there was two female leaders going into like a state or territory election?
Queensland 2020.
The vote is already underway.
That was
okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's was that the first time it ever happened, or has it happened? How did it happen before that?
I think there was a territory. It was either an ACT election or a might have been a there was one. I can't remember when it was.
By the way, yeah, we don't know who's going to win this. Like, it really is anyone's game.
I think the CLP will pull off a win. I'm feeling bullish on them.
That's what the betting markets suggest, that the CLP will win, but I think like a hung parliament is really likely, and I think like it will be ultimately up to independents to decide who's going to be in government. In my opinion.
The CLP definitely felt more energised when I was out in the polling booths. They were definitely feeling very confident. When I went down to Palmerston, which is one of the more conservative areas, like it's more conservative than the rest of Darwin, They were very kind of feeling confident of clean sweeping every electorate in the satellite town.
In Palmerston, right?
Yeah. Currently, I think Labor used to hold 2 seats, but one of their members defected and became an independent. And the other seat is actually held by the party leader, Eva Lawler. So there's a good chance that Eva Lawler could lose her seat in the election, a bit like Adam Giles in 2016, who lost his Alice Springs seat.
The Palmerston electorate, it's Blaine, which is held by an independent who got kicked out of the Labor Party for having sex with a sex worker.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Drysdale, which, as you said, is the Labor leader holds that seat on a margin of 5.4%. So yeah, if they win that seat, I think that's a clear marker that the election is won for the seat, and they'll probably get a majority government if they win that seat too. I reckon. I mean, they need 6 seats.
Yeah.
And
there's a good chance they could win like. Oh yeah, sorry, go on.
There's a path. There's absolutely a path to victory for them. Yex says the CLP is polling at 39%. Are you talking about the poll that was done in May? Because there was a poll since then which had them at 36%. So let me check. Let me just check if he's talking about the poll that was done in May. And how long ago was May? June, July, August. So it's 3. Sorry, I'm just eating my dinner as I'm recording this. As we're recording this.
Of course, there are a lot of tight contests that are going to be happening across the territory.
Yeah, bring on. But yeah, the last poll was in May, and that was 39%. Anyway, you can.
Yeah, it was like the last poll was May, and it had the CLP winning 54% two-party preferred. One seat to look out for as well is people are talking about independents and stuff possibly doing well. Also the Greens. The Greens are currently targeting Fanny Bay because they won a very good result in the by-election. Fanny Bay used to be the electorate of Michael Gunner, the former chief minister, but when he resigned, again due to COVID, his seat almost got won by, didn't almost get won by the Greens, but they did a good shot. So when I was in Fanny Bay today, definitely a lot of Greens were campaigning there. I saw them very hopefully trying to see if they can win that seat. And you never know, unpopularity with Labor and like them going pro-fracking and stuff could see the seat. And it would be because the NT is currently the last area in the country where there's no Greens at the state level.
I did not know that, but that makes sense now that you mention it.
When you only have 25 seats, all single member, it's very hard. Also, there's not really like a big student community here, like there isn't like the centre of Melbourne or Sydney.
Yeah. I know that both of the major parties are very sort of like pro-business, pro-industry, pro like fossil fuels extraction, sort of like the over environment kind of thing. So I was just going to say that there is sort of like a reason to be for the Greens in the Northern Territory for that reason.
Yeah, generally both the major parties have determined that the only way they're going to get money into this state is by just ripping up all the resources, and obviously that doesn't quite go down well with the Greens.
Yeah, but I don't know if people really care that much about environmental issues in Northern Territory. I mean, like I'm sure some people do, but you know, I think there are probably a lot of people who are like, yeah, we need money in the state, so it might not be necessarily a vote winner to care so much about the environment in the Northern Territory. I don't know.
That it has legislation ready to go to combat crime in the territory. Is this an unrealistic?
So having a look at the electorates that are currently in play, this is a map of the NT electorates. As you can see, Labor already has they've got the seats in the big Indigenous areas, which is Gawoja, I think it's Gawoja, Arnhem, and Arafura, which are they're all big Aboriginal communities. In the areas that don't have big Aboriginal communities, like Baitling and Namatjira, and also Daly. Actually, no, I can't mention Daly. Daly's actually Labor now. That one was picked up by Labor in a by-election. Fun fact, Leah Finocchiaro is due to the fact that the Liberals lost all but 2 seats in 2016, Leah Finocchiaro is the only member from pre-2016. I don't know if other members got their seats back, but she's like the only member that's continuously held her seat pre-2016 for the CLP, which is kind of crazy.
It's people feeling unsafe in their own home, feeling unsafe to go shopping, feeling
So
unsafe to take their children to school. Put them
somebody mentioned in the comments that the Greens hold seats in the Darwin City Council and the Berkeley City Council, and I think the Berkeley City Council is in Tennant Creek.
Yes.
You know about this?
So when I was at Port Darwin, I met their candidate, Greg. That wasn't Greg Dixon. I think it was the Fong Lim candidate actually. Fong Lim. Yeah, Simon Niblock. I actually met him, and he's actually a member of the Darwin City Council. Yes, I was having a chat with him when I was at the Darwin Entertainment Centre.
Wait, so is he a Greens, or what party is he from?
He's Greens, yeah, and he's currently on the Darwin City Council. Well, probably not anymore because he had to probably resign his post to run. Surprisingly,
Jared Walsh says that they say Greens can win 3 seats.
No, they're not. Also, crime is a big issue in the NT at this election, and the Greens are not a party that do well when crime is a big issue.
Yeah.
The ALP can, the CLP definitely will benefit from concern about crime, but the Greens are more concerned about like worker injustice, less so actual crime. So they're white collar crime, which isn't the issue.
Do you know in Northern Territory the criminal age of responsibility is 10, but in New South Wales it's 14, so it's actually 4 years higher in New South Wales than Northern Territory.
Yes, well the problem is a lot of the crime committed in the NT is being committed by youth offenders, which is why it's become such it's a really obviously a hot button issue. Obviously it's very controversial because no one wants to see a child go to prison, but like when they're the ones committing all the crimes, it raises some really difficult questions, and it's one of the problems I think this election's being is the parties want to find simple answers, but it's a simple answers to a very complex issue.
But I think it's probably the number one issue. The crime, I think, is the number one issue.
I was talking with family members. I had a nice chat with them last night over dinner. None of them have experienced crime on them. Like none of their houses have been broken into. They know people who've had their cars stolen and houses broken into. So that it's not just a media frenzy. They're generally experiencing it.
Yeah. Why do you think it's ramped up in the last couple of years, especially? Do you think it's something to do with like the rental stress and something like that?
Possibly. I think COVID lockdowns threw a bunch of stuff in whack. Other issues, obviously, the alcohol ban being lapsed. A lot of people are concerned that the alcohol ban shouldn't have lapsed because and I'll say like there's also other things like the cost of living crisis has been something long in the running, and obviously impoverished Aboriginal communities are the first hit.
Yeah.
And
I think crime is sort of on the rise all through Australia at the moment, actually.
But I think also someone pointed out that if, due to budget cuts by governments trying to be careful, they've actually shut down a lot of the community centres, like, rehab centres to save money. And I think as a result, people haven't had places to go to get on their feet. And as a result, and then obviously you have gang issues where people are like, it's like when you want a place to belong, sometimes that ends up being belonging with a organised crime gang, and that's like not a good community to hang out in.
No. So Jared Walsh asks, could someone tell me if the Australian federal election is for November 2024 or next year 2025 in May? You can answer this question. I'll be right back. I'm getting a drink.
It could be in March as well, but I'm going to tell you straight now, I'm almost guaranteeing you it's going to be happening next year.
You can trace it back to poverty, to
actually, they're talking about crime right now. If you want to listen to it,
Indigenous Territorians in particular face compared to non-Indigenous Territorians. So, is the CLP? Do you think the CLP's done enough in that area to try and develop policies and sell policies to deal with those issues?
Yes, I think we do. We've got policies in relation to education. I think some of these issues that we're discussing today.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, so just listening to them discuss a bit of the crime issues, but getting back to the 2025 election topic, I don't think there's no reason for Albo to call it this year. It's just he wants inflation further down. He wants the economy better on track, and if all the economic numbers indicate the economy will be better next year than it is this year.
Yeah. Also, I think probably I would pen an interest rate cut for probably like at the earliest, like something like March next year.
Yeah.
And he really wants an interest rate cut before he goes to an election.
And like he'll probably almost guarantee that if they announce an interest rate cut, he'll call the election like a day after.
Yeah.
Like I can almost guarantee.
Well, that might be seen as incredibly cynical, so he probably won't do that, but he'll probably do something similar. You're right.
Oh, but it'd be the right time to call an election, so he could use that as justification.
True. Well, yeah, but it just sounds really cynical. But yeah, okay. All right.
Okay, I did not get to meet this woman.
I agree. I agree pretty much. We're just arguing about the tin tax.
Where is Sanderson? I think that's in North Darwin. I don't think Sanderson's one of the ones. Oh, actually, no. I think I did actually go to Sanderson. Oh, no, I didn't do Sanderson. So Sanderson is North Darwin and the airport.
Sanderson is a very safe Labor seat, but obviously
Jared Walsh thinks CLP 14. I think that's too much. I don't think they'll get.
No, I can see them getting 14.
I think it's a possibility, but
there is a possibility Labour faces the same wipeout that the CLP faced in 2016. I don't think it's guaranteed, but the NT politics is so volatile. That's why I have to keep reminding people. What's Sanderson's history? The CLP held it in 2008. But besides that, yeah, but Labour's held it mostly since 2001. So fun fact: the CLP was in government from the formation of the territorial government in 1974 until 2001. So they had a solid 25 years in power. And since then, Labour's won every election bar one.
Also, the seats in Northern Territory are really small. Like they only have a couple thousand elected.
Yeah. They were doing there's something on that the other day. There's something. See if I can election preview. Something down here. I can find the chart. Yeah. So currently there's only 6,100 people in every electorate, or enrolled people in every electorate on average. That is way lower than any other state remote. For instance, federal, it's 100,000 per electorate.
For prevention of family, sexual, and domestic violence. Do you think the government has focused on this issue? Do you think the campaign?
Did you say 4,500 per electorate?
It's a huge issue.
6,100.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, because I heard somewhere that was 110,000 electors, and that divided by 25 is.
No. There's two electorates in the interior, in Bellingiari and Solomon in the federal level.
Yeah, I'm talking about state level, isn't it? Never mind. Not state level, territory level. Sorry. Vec says in the 1974 NT election, the CLP got all seats but one.
Yes, 8, and Labor got nothing.
Really? Who won the other state? Was it an independent or something?
Yeah. That was part of my video on the election of 1997, the election after that, because the leader lost their seat.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Right.
Your microphone just got.
You want to look at?
Obviously, you've been in government for 8 years, and one of the decisions that you made
a year
ago was to only fund around $20 million for domestic family and sexual violence services, and then you came out during this election campaign.
Okay. By the way, your mic is sounding a bit strange at the moment. It's sounding more echoey.
That's only the bare minimum they need to actually do their
As
jobs.
in, is it echoing stuff that you're saying, or?
Yeah.
So Tom, what we know is we need to put in.
As in, you can hear yourself, or?
You sound like you're speaking down a tube or something.
I sound like I'm speaking down a tube.
Yeah, just give us a sec.
So we've been working incrementally over a number of years.
I will rejoin the call in 1 second.
Okay.
And have no idea about this space. What we said we would do.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, you sound so much better now. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Just Discord being Discord, I guess.
We'll continue to that investment, and that's how much money.
All right. So yeah, you can take it away. You can talk about each electorate.
Sure. Let's run through I think I have it here, yeah. So let's run through. Alice Springs is made up of 2 electorates. Those are Arulin, which is independent, and Brayling, which is CLP. Don't really think I see much happening here. I think the CLP will probably benefit from the conversation on crime, but they already hold this. They might pick up Arulin, which I think is held by the Territorial Alliance, which is an independent basically these days. They own the other seats. You got Namatjira and Baitling, which is sort of, and Guaja, which sort of occupy the majority of the desert areas. So a lot of Aboriginal communities, stations, farm owners, and some small towns like Tennant Creek. Further up, as you get to the top end, you've got seats like Arnhem, Arafura and Daly, as well as the seat of Catherine around the town of Catherine. And then finally, you've got the seats around Darwin, where you've got the majority of seats. You've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 13 or so seats around the Darwin area. As you can see, Labor controls most of the seats around Darwin, especially in North Darwin, which are their safest seats. The CLP obviously dominates the countryside. They also do pretty well in Palmerston, which is sort of a satellite town just to the south of Darwin.
What do you think about Arulin, which is the seat in Alice Springs on a margin of 0.5%, which Territorial Alliance won last time, and it's now controlled by an independent? Do you think the CLP will pick up that seat?
Maybe. It depends on how popular independents are. I don't know how well independents do in the NT. Like, for instance, seat 7, Mulca. I don't actually think Mulca is owned by an Aboriginal elder because it's from his community in there. I don't even think the ALP is even running against him there, but in other seats it's different.
No, neither are the Greens. Nobody's running. It's just him and a country Liberal.
Oh, country Liberal are running against him. I thought that was gonna. I thought even the country Liberal weren't running against him.
No.
Wow.
I think that's the safest independent seat. I think the other 3 are endangered definitely, but that one's quite safe.
I did a tour of the NT Parliament yesterday.
Right.
And apparently said he's that guy. What's his name? Yinginya Marguya. He speaks English as his 3rd language.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he actually does a lot of his speeches in his native language of the, I think it's the Dinjamburunya. I am going to apologise. I am very bad at pronouncing Aboriginal words, but yeah.
I didn't even bother trying to pronounce his name in my video about the NT elections.
I'm just going to call him Mark.
I give you points for the effort.
Sometimes I feel like I get penalised more for trying.
That's unfortunate. I think everyone should give an earnest try to pronounce.
Yeah, well,
names.
Anthony Green has to practice all the names beforehand because even though there might not be Indigenous people in Parliament in some areas, there might be Indigenous people running.
When do you think Anthony Green is going to retire? Do you think the next federal election is going to be his last one?
Oh, jeez, how old is he these days?
I think he's in his 60s. I don't know. I don't know if he's. I think he's probably in his mid 60s.
I'm pretty sure. Going to his 70s.
You reckon? I remember watching him on the Tasmanian election, and he was getting a bit fumbly, but
okay.
Look, I got nothing against Anthony Green. I love him, and I wish he would live forever. But yeah, I mean, you always got to think about these things. What do you think of the ABC set for this election?
In 2016, they had the set in NT Parliament.
Right. Interesting.
So there's a main hall. Surprisingly, the NT Parliament is a huge building. It is bigger than most other states' parliament buildings.
Really?
Yeah, it's bigger. It's bigger than the ACT Legislative Assembly. And I say it might be bigger than South Australia. The other ones I probably think is bigger is the Victorian Parliament.
I'm taking a look at it now from the inside.
Yeah. It's actually set up for two. It's set up for 2 chambers, which obviously never eventuated.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, it
5
feels
floors.
like if they added. It feels like if they added more seats, it would be a bit much, given that like a single seat only represents a couple thousand people.
And they also have local councils here, so it's not like they need more members to deal with all the council stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So well, the reason I think maybe that independent will hold on to that seat in Alice Springs is because like the independents are polling pretty well. Like they're polling like between 20 and 30%. Depending on what polls you look at, but
yeah.
I think polling independents can be sort of tough. Like I remember in the Tasmania election,
but it was only won by Robin Lambley by 0.5%. So it's a very marginal seat.
And then that other one, that Goida one, that one, the person's retiring, the independent's retiring. So that's why I think maybe that will return to the CLP as well.
Which one was that one? Blaine or no, I mean
Goida?
Yeah,
Goida
okay.
one. Blaine is the one where the MP had sex with a sex worker and got
Blaine was where I ran into Eva Lawler and Leah Finocchiaro because obviously that's the one that both of them are hoping to win. My prediction at the moment actually is I actually think I'm probably thinking the CLP will clean sweep Palmerston. Maybe Eva Lawler will hold Drysdale. I think CLP will sweep Alice Springs. I just feel like they're and then the rest, that's 2 seats. That's like, what's anyone else they could pick up?
Fong Lim in South Darwin.
Yeah, they could win Fong Lim, and they could also win Port Darwin.
And Daly, they could win that one back.
Yes, Daly's the other one I think they can also win. So that would give them 5. And if you add 5 to their... Well, that would be, 12?
So my predictions are... Arulan will go CLP. Blaine will go CLP. Port Darwin will go CLP. Fong Lim will go CLP. And Daly will go CLP.
Yeah.
And then Goida is a big question mark. I'm not sure about that one. And then Fanny Bay could go green.
Yes.
I don't think that... Yeah. But the thing with Arafura is that, like, after a by-election, there's, like, now a margin of, like, 17% or something like that.
Yeah, but again, a lot of those elections, with the exclusion of Fanny Bay, was benefited because Labor was in government. It was able to mobilise mobile voting booths really quickly, and, like...
Right.
They basically just went out to the Aboriginal communities, from what I've heard, and like just went out there and said, "Hey, can you please vote for us?" And they're like, "Okay, here's a vote." And they went back to the. It was like with all
that
votes.
was also before The Voice too.
Yeah, I don't know how The Voice is going to affect it. I feel like The Voice is kind of a back issue here, like because of all the focus on crime, and the NT is unfortunately in a bit of a sorry state at the moment. Like chatting with some of my family members, they've not been super impressed with the situation here. It feels like people are leaving the state. There's not really much growth, not really much self-sustainability.
Well, I mean, the thing is, there's like federal drag on the territory.
You know what?
Like,
we're getting results from the election of Johnston. I'm pretty sure this was the first seat they called last time.
Johnston, and that's like a inner city.
Yeah, it's got like one. It's like, I think my cousin lives in this seat. So my auntie's second child lives in this seat, and I'm pretty sure it was the first one called last time.
We'll get some small polling places early. There will be maybe 100 or
so it's Johnston,
and the election will be decided when the big early voting.
So you can see if I look at the results here, it's like there's like 2 polling booths.
From one polling place to polling place, and a big interstate.
You said that Northern Territory elections come in pretty quick.
Yeah, well, that's why we're getting results already, and it's only like half an hour in.
True. I mean, usually you have to wait like an hour or something.
Yeah, well, again, there's only 6,000 people.
For electorate, yeah.
Good evening, James.
And some of these electorates are pretty tiny. It's like even geographically they're pretty tiny as well.
Yeah. Just give me a sec.
It is indeed, and you're right to say it hasn't had the same attention as other places. I think that's largely because...
While Sormon is doing what he's doing, I'm going to read out a comment.
Yep.
Queensland, Northern Territory, and Tasmania all having or had state election. Yeah, it's sort of like a big year for elections
Yeah,
in general.
four elections this year. There's obviously Tasmania earlier this year, NT, ACT will be early October, and then Queensland will be at the end of October.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, everyone, I've actually put money on this election as well. I put $15 on Labor winning. So, if Labor win, I get something like...
How do they determine that? If they win a minority, do you then have to go on if they form a government? Like, is that how they do it?
Yeah. If like the independent side with them and then they form government, then I win. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like the average odds are like 1 to 4, so I'll get like $60 or something if Labor win. So let's hope they do.
Okay.
For that reason alone.
But on the other hand, if Labor comes in second to the incumbent,
so I thought what was your impression of the leaders, the opposition leader and the...
I didn't get much of a chance to talk with Leah because she got into a conversation with someone else, but Eva was sort of, I don't know, she just kind of felt like someone who was just, there to do a job. Like, she kind of fell into the top position because, like, the proper successor, Natasha Files, resigned, and so she was kind of thrusted into the top spot a bit out of...
Right, so you...
Oh, great.
You expect she's going to lose?
Your microphone's gone funky again.
when you talk to voters around here, crime and antisocial behaviour tops their list. Catherine does have very similar rates of...
I am back again. Is it better?
I don't know what's going on with your microphone, or it might be just my Discord. I don't know what's going on.
Who knows?
Federal Parliament, for instance, in the same way. So that means that there are people here who are quite fearful. It's very frequent to hear about people having break-ins.
So my auntie, who I'm currently at her house at the moment, she used to live in Catherine, but she was telling me that, like, she doesn't really want to go back to Catherine these days. Apparently not a very nice place to live at the moment.
Catherine, is that like near Tennant Creek or something?
It's about a 3-hour drive south. I'll show you going onto the map. It's it's sort of down here. So if you cut the top of Northern Territory off, like the sort of the giant big bulb, it's sort of like in line with the bottom of that bulb.
Okay, I see. Okay, yep. Right, so is that part of a CLP seat or a Labor seat?
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, it's been held by the CLP for all but one election.
Okay, yep. So somebody asked, what are you guys' predictions for the Queensland state election? The LNP are going to win.
Yeah,
that's my prediction.
It's probably the one that's easiest to predict, to be honest.
Yeah, they're polling.
Oh no! Labor Greens winning the ACT election is also pretty easy to predict. So fun fact, like this and the Tasmania election are probably the two that are more like we didn't know the results going in.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah. So ACT you think is pretty much a foregone conclusion as well.
Yeah, like I don't really see any reason why. When the Liberals won, it was a time when the Liberals were still more of a moderate party, not a hard right party. Since they became a hard right party, I don't really see them winning the ACT anymore.
So I'm just looking at recent opinion polls for Queensland, and it's got like the two-party preferred at 57-43 to the coalition.
I think Kevin Bowman or Bonner, I forget his name, was saying that he thinks the redistributions and how they're set up should prevent Labor from facing a 2011 wipeout, a 2012 wipeout,
right.
But it could still be reduced to like a teens level of seats.
Yeah. It's a foregone conclusion, as they say.
Yeah.
And the Greens, let's see how they're polling. The Greens are polling pretty well, actually. They're polling at like around 13%, and they got 9.5% last time. So it's sort of a weird place, Queensland, where like you got like a mix of like quite right-wing people, and then you also got the Greens doing pretty well. It's like they got 3 seats in the Fed.
Brisbane itself is like every other city. The issue is it's just got a whole bunch of country towns that are very right-wing.
Yeah, look, it's tough work, as you say, putting your hand up, and there'll be a lot of people a bit
Indeed.
stressed tonight. Tom, I want to talk about independent.
It is interesting seeing.
Seems to be
they haven't caught any seats yet. Let me go to the
federal MPs.
No seats look like
at
they've been called
that,
yet.
federal level. How much has it changed the campaign to have some new faces and different platforms?
Even that
highlight?
Johnston count that Anthony Green showed
It's
didn't
been
really mean much.
interesting. You go out and talk to people, particularly in the northern suburbs, and I think that while some of the local candidates,
I feel like it's all going to come out pretty fast.
Yeah, it
Got that
will.
feeling.
There's also
It's
Are you able to, on your YouTube, are you able to do like a poll? Is that something you can do on YouTube?
Possibly. The issue is I only have single screen at the moment, so I'm nervous to open up the live streaming tab because.
Or in case people see the stream key or something.
They won't see the stream key. It's just gonna look really awkward on the stream.
It was quite surprising.
I mean, alright, it's up to you.
Like, what do you want? What would you want me to? I'll see what happens. Like, see what happens if I break it away. Hopefully.
How about I just give you the link to the stream? Like,
no, I'm good. I think if I go.
It's going to be an interesting one to see.
Alright, I think it should be fine right now. Okay, cool. Alright, can make a poll now.
Alright, sweet. Just do a poll on who or like what they think the result's gonna be.
In Wanguri, where Nicole Manison is stepping down from this election, so there could be some really interesting results in seats like that.
The populist-like approach Stephen Miles was taken to electorate might save Labour a few seats. I don't think Stephen Miles is doing too badly in his job. Like, the 50 cents thing was pretty smart way to sort of sell, like, votes. Or buy votes, sorry, rather. Yeah, government-owned petrol stations? I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah, that is a thing.
Justine, we'll go to you.
That's the first time I've heard about that. Like, that's some commie.
All right,
shit.
the poll is up at the moment.
I'm feeling.
Okay, I'm gonna go against my gamble and say CLP minority.
Tonight, whatever happens at the polls, we've won this
So,
campaign. It's been incredible.
but ALP minority definitely a chance. I don't think ALP is gonna get a majority. I think that's ogre. It's ogre for them.
Really ready for change. I think we just heard Thomas say that.
We've got 10 votes. It looks like CLP majority is coming out ahead. Although it's a very tight race between CLP minority and CLP majority. Who keeps on changing their vote?
You know what people like to say? It's like why you should never live stream your getting to a million subs. I'm pretty sure like people learn these days. If you want to do getting to a million subs, you should always do your video delayed by like an hour. Because the second you start doing that, people start unsubscribing to try and throw the thing on whack.
So yeah, it looks like CLP majority is winning the vote. I mean that's sort of like I guess that's the consensus at the moment as well.
It just feels like we're in a environment that's right for the
So people from day one, from before.
that feels right for a right-wing party to do well. No one is producing an ALP majority, which is interesting.
Zero says, guys, where can we see the live results come in? Right here is the answer. You'll see the live results coming right here on
got all the seats
Sormon
here.
channel.
No seats have been called yet.
I mean, like, we're just basically live streaming the ABC feed, and we're about maybe, like, I don't know, 20 seconds behind the ABC feed. And the ABC feed updates immediately as, like, any seats are called by, Anthony Green. And Anthony Green... Sorry, even though Anthony Green has some, what's it called? Obviously, he has some, like, helpers, right? He has some understudies, some interns. So
part of me would wonder if I should ever run to be Anthony Green's replacement.
You should try to be one of his interns. Like, I don't know where I think
he works in Sydney though.
Is he based in Sydney? I thought he was based in Canberra.
Okay, I thought he was based in Sydney, but I might be wrong.
Maybe I should apply to be one of Anthony Green's interns.
I'm actually in Sydney next weekend, actually.
Oh, alright, okay. What are you doing in Sydney?
It's a Nintendo Live event, which I'll probably hopefully cover for my other channel, Xena Sanctum.
Where are you staying while you're there?
Mascot, just near the airport.
Oh, okay, alright. Well, if you want to get lunch or something, I guess we could meet up.
We're just doing our lunch plans on a live stream.
We're still waiting for results. It's going to be like another 25 minutes at least, I reckon.
So yeah, can you get me a BLT with a large mocha and a
Didn't you say that you were going to pay for my dinner when I was in Sydney next? When you were in Sydney next? Sorry.
Don't tell my followers that.
That's only if you stayed with me, wasn't it? So maybe it doesn't count. Anyway, Jared Walsh says Australia PM will resigns after this Queensland he's saying that Albo's going to resign after Labor loses Queensland. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're stuck with Albo for quite a while.
I can see a world where if the results in Queensland are so disastrous, because reminder, it was the Queensland election in 2015 that got Abbott to resign.
Thank you.
So I could see a disastrous result in the Queensland causing Albert to go, oh crap, I'm so unpopular, I lost this state so bad, I'm going to resign. But I think it's not been confounded with really bad polls, which was also the fact with Abbott.
I think the people will. I honestly think that the Australian public and the media are going to paint it as Albo resigns, but like the cost of living crisis is like a Labor Party thing. It's not an Albo thing, so I don't think it's actually going to help.
Yeah, and it's not like people are personally angry with Albo like they were with Abbott. It's more a fact that they don't think. They either think Labor.
They're pissed at the Labor Party in general, I think. Anyway, are we actually getting results, or is Anthony Green just yammering on about?
I think we're getting. Actually, you're right. I think Justine Davis is one of the big candidates that might be getting up. Also, by the way, if you look across, I'm not sure you can see it at the moment. I'm in the electorate 2 to the right from the one he's looking at the moment. I'm in Karama at the moment.
Right, and I assume that's a safe Labor seat.
Yeah. My auntie tells me she really likes the member here, so it's hopeful that she gets re-elected.
I see. By the way, we got an update for the poll. We've got CLP majority and CLP minority equal on 35%. We've got ALP minority on 24%, and somebody cheekily voted for ALP majority on 6%.
Yeah, because we influenced the poll. All right, everyone, can you please change your vote to ALP majority? And then I'll end the poll and it says
ALP majority is definitely not going to get any more votes.
Oh, no, it's switching their votes. Darn it. You're meant to listen to me, my followers. Otherwise, you're not my followers. No, I can't seem to get the poll to change.
Divided by 17-6. Yeah.
I'm not going to suck
One
your power.
person has voted for ALP majority.
All right, I'm closing the poll.
And I'm very cautious here. He certainly won that.
Poll closed.
Close the poll before it's too late.
Gain the momentum.
There we go. So, the consensus is the CLP are going to win.
Oh, why is there a golf named after Joseph Bonaparte? I believe. Who is Joseph Bonaparte? Is that like a relative of Napoleon? Because I think there was something around here that was named after Napoleon because it was like Napoleon III's son or something, and for some reason someone named the place after him because they kind of liked him or something. I don't know the specifics.
Is that who Joseph Bonaparte is? He's the Napoleon.
Let me check.
I'm going to say on primaries.
I just want to jump in there and very quickly say that someone within the Labor campaign who...
I'll bring it back. I'm just putting out my dinner and getting more Mentos while we wait for these epic results.
...swing across the board and said it's worse than Labor had hoped. So...
time for you to go...
It's the older brother of Napoleon. He was king of Spain for a while.
Natasha, is that what you're hearing as well?
I'm getting bunches of mixed figures and they're like 16 votes and 10 votes. Like it's not worth sort of looking into. But I think we only hold Port Darwin and Fonglin by less than 100 votes. So if 100 people change their mind, then that changes that seat. So I think it is interesting that personal incumbency in seats to see if that a member who's worked hard can push against that swing. So I think we're certainly in for a fascinating night, and I know we're all keen for a bit more solid numbers to come through so Anthony can start.
So while we wait for the results, Sormon, I have a question for you. Have you gone on a bike ride lately around Canberra?
No, why'd you ask?
Why do I ask?
I think actually the last bike ride I went on, I went for a bike ride down to Monaca Oval to watch the GWS Giants pull off an epic comeback against the Hawthorn Hawks.
So let's diverge while we're here. Let's talk about the AFL.
Yep.
And give me your thoughts about who's going to get an AFL team first, the Northern Territory or the ACT.
So, if the media will have their way, it will be the NT. They're very passionate about getting a team in the top end to sort of complete the country geographically. But the ACT just makes so much more sense. Like, it's got a bigger population, it can sustain a team, the team won't have to travel as far. Monaco Oval is perfectly fine to be played on. TIO Stadium up here it's an absolute hot slugfest to play footy here. In fact, the NT plays footy in the wet season. They don't play footy in the dry season. They play cricket. They actually play cricket and football at the opposite times of the year to the southern part of Australia. So a lot of ways it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, also because cricket needs to be played on dry grass, and you get dry grass in the dry season. You don't get dry grass in the wet season.
A recent trip for my family.
Right, so they play cricket in the dry season, and they play rugby. Sorry, not rugby. AFL
Both.
in the wet season.
It blows the family budget.
Yeah, they play rugby
in the dry and wet.
No, they play rugby in and football in the wet season.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see. So I thought that it would be roughly the same temperature, the dry season and the wet season. I didn't think that.
Wet season actually is warmer, but it's also wetter.
Absolutely, and so we can put pressure on.
So that makes it better.
Because you can play football in the rain. You're not meant to play cricket in the rain.
We provide a childcare rebate here in the.
But why wouldn't they just do every sport in the dry season?
Because the fields are all set up for cricket. Remember, in cricket you have to roll out a pitch in the middle of the ground. That'd be ripped up if people are running over it in spiked boots, playing football.
But yeah, it is really difficult.
Welcome, Mr. Loxton. I forgot to give you a link. I'm sorry. I've been too busy. Sorry, I forgot to give you a link.
We're seeing an unlikely Labour winning Queensland would be very suspicious of data's effectiveness. Yeah, everyone seems to be talking about the Queensland election at the moment. Is the NT election that boring to you guys?
And that was something that came up at the ABC debate. I think.
What's this? Sorry.
It feels like people are more interested in the Queensland election than the election we're watching right now.
It's a tricky one for those remote and regional airlines.
I guess a few people in this chat might be from Queensland, so what do I know?
Packing up and leaving because they simply cannot afford.
An unlikely Labour win in Queensland would definitely raise suspicions of Dutton's effectiveness. Yeah, if Labour win in Queensland, like Dutton is going to be quaking in his boots. Like that. I mean, that's going to be.
I really don't see that happening though.
If Labour win in Queensland, Albo is going to get re-elected. Like that's just. I think that would be an absolute sign.
There's a good chance that Dutton might resign if Labour wins Queensland. Probably not.
Yeah, there would be a good chance. Yeah, it would definitely be a sign that he's really not doing a good job. If
it would be a massive PR win for Labour, just like how the 2020 election was sort of a PR win for Labour going into 2022. Remember how everyone was convinced that Palaszczuk was going to lose after the 2019 results?
So if you aren't a victim of crime yourself and your assurance goes up because your neighbour's been broken.
I'm standing by for the link. This is the link. I'm sorry, Heath. I forgot to.
But surely we can't be blaming crime.
Give it to you. I'm sorry.
Oh, we certainly can't. I'm just saying that's one aspect.
What the hell is going on in New South Wales for the Libs right now?
Oh yeah. I know I shouldn't laugh, but it's so funny. They forgot to fill out their paperwork to put candidates up for city councils, and as a result, a lot of city councils, some of them I think have Liberal majorities, or at least a large number of Liberals, are going to lose all their Liberals because when the election comes, none of their candidates are going to be on the voting slips.
Jared, do you think, though, your party, I know that you obviously...
So that's a bit of a massive stuff up. They fired the president over it because apparently they were so focused on getting federal candidates set up, they forgot to fill out the paperwork for the local governments. I think the local councilmen had sent the paperwork in to say, hey, can you sign this and send it into the electoral commission, and they forgot to do it. So yeah, it is one of the biggest screw ups in. They tried to then sue the AEC to get their candidates on the ballot, but I think they had to back down. So yeah, they're about to lose control of a whole bunch of seats in New South Wales, which is going to be devastating to them. I know we shouldn't be laughing, but it's quite a funny story.
Mr. Beach 27 says, "What policies of Queensland Labor do you disagree with?"
place of opportunity, a place where
I don't really know that much about Queensland Labor.
Yeah,
personally,
I probably agree with that. I don't know exactly what their
in the law or in the doctors down south. So we need to get back to what we want, back to a place where it's an opportunity, where it's going to be safe, and you can work if you want to work.
Well, one issue, like I know a few people who work in say the hospital.
Oh, the Olympics.
So busy, so overrun with in particular. But
they needed to have a clear plan with how they're going to set up a stadium, and they need to stop with this stupid wish-washing on different venues. Also, the public transport in Brisbane sucks, from what I've seen. Like, they've got good regional transport.
I think they shouldn't be spending the coal mining money and the farmers mining money on a pagan crocodile god.
Actually, crocodile! Did you hear the crocodile predicted that Labor's going to win in the NT?
I didn't see the result of that. I saw the article about that.
Yeah, the psychic crocodile predicted Labor's going to win. So, you guys have predicted CLP majority? You're wrong. The crocodile is always right. Actually, I don't know about that.
But one of the big issues.
Actually, when I saw one of the Sky News guys at one of the electorates, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I was at Crocodilus Park watching the psychic crocodile decide the election."
That's not an issue to do with necessarily alcohol or crime. That's an issue to deal with the size of the hospital, the number of workers who are working there, and also the fact that there are...
Awesome Ways says, I had no clue that there was an NT election tonight. I mean, it's the smallest constituent of the country, so...
I guess above, like Norfolk Island, although I don't think Norfolk Island even has a government anymore.
And dealing with the results of people who are drinking too much.
I think they disbanded and put it directly under federal control.
To being proactive, like I said earlier, to stop those people who are basically chronic alcoholics going into accident emergencies and opening those people up who are involved in a car crash.
Do you think they should have 50-cent fares everywhere in the country?
I think it could go a long way to making... The bus rides are free at the moment in the NT, which is great. Although... despite the fact the buses were free here, I rode a bus home with my cousin, and we were the only two people on the bus, and it was 5 o'clock. So, like, I'm like, maybe cheaper fares don't change it if people don't want to ride the bus. But no, I sort of think, I'm starting to think, like, maybe you should just go all free with public transport to encourage people to use it more.
But then you get riffraff riding the public transport for the meme. You know, you've got to stop that.
The thing is, though, like the way you cancel out dodgy people riding the bus, you get more civilized people to ride the bus. If you know what I mean. That's a bad word to use, but well-behaved people.
Civilized people.
I don't know why. I feel dignified. No, it sounds even worse. Deified. I'll just keep digging my hole.
Healthcare, absolutely. Whoever is in government needs a really focused, concerted effort. It is incredibly complex. It's not just about infrastructure.
Sorry, I just went to put my keys away.
That's all good.
How much longer before we get results? Sormon?
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I thought we were going to get results quicker.
Need that focus and that support.
Yeah, he's like, we got to start the stream at exactly 6 o'clock CST because
I'm sorry, I thought the results would be fast. A lot of people pre-polled, so I don't know if that's affecting it.
Make another poll. Make another poll for the viewers. Keep them entertained. Ask another question about that. Ask them how many independents do you think they'll win, and then put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus.
We had programs going to try and move patients that were aged care, that were disability, to try and work with the private hospital, to try and grab every bed we can. Those mental health beds were, the construction of those frustrated me how slow it was, and that's something government, I think, needs to
polls.
Across the board. We've seen a huge
Everyone loves polls.
Construction costs and a slowness in that, but yeah, I certainly take my responsibility.
And we've seen the trend has not been kind to Labor through this. We've seen the number of code yellows in the healthcare system rise to pretty much the highest level ever. There's been one, I think, earlier this year, or maybe last year, there was one every couple of weeks. Like, surely that's not sustainable. Surely something has to be done.
I agree with you, Tom.
Well,
Do a dance to keep me entertained. Get some Subway surfers on the side. I don't know. We have to. Hang on. There's no two option. There's no two option.
Oh wait. I was meant to say. I realized I was meant to say more than 5, and I wrote less than 5.
You've got less than 2, 3, 4, and less than 5.
That's meant to be 2 or less. This is me writing polls too quickly.
Getting the scrutineers figures. The scrutineers are just getting.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go 2 or less.
Information on.
Really?
Yeah, that's supposed to be. That's supposed to be more than 5. Yeah, I think 2 are going to win. I think we're going to get 2 independents. That's my guess.
Off against how many people have been issued ballot papers, how many ballot papers they've got.
Anthony Green can't shut up about Johnston, can he?
Normally, I would have expected something.
You got to cater for your Zoomer audience. Sormon, you got to get like Subway Surfers or like excuse me, Minecraft on the side. Just boot up Minecraft, start playing Minecraft. Or what do the kids play these days? Like what's that Power World game? Is that still popular? Do people still play Power World?
I don't know.
Or was that just a fad? Was Power World like a fad that died? I don't really know if that's still popular.
A little bit of concern about the profile of some of your candidates. I mean,
Og Johnson and Polls, best stream ever. Well, I'm glad we got your approval, Mr. JM.
Front and centre. She's done a lot of media. Have you given your
There we go. Subway Surfers, everybody.
40% believe that 40% believe that the status quo will remain with 4 independents. Yeah, just put it on the side of the stream.
I don't know if I can get the stream to set up to that. The stream's currently just showing whatever like on Chrome.
Awesome Wab says Power World was a fad. I thought it was a fad because I haven't really heard anything.
Yeah, like a lot of people like talked it
like,
up. It's like, oh, this is gonna get Pokemon out of their lull. Like, no, everything that's challenged Pokemon has failed.
Is your life better than now than it was?
Is Cameron By one of your subscribers or something, by the way?
Who is?
Cameron
that
By,
you're thinking Cameron Strauss, unless Cameron By is Cameron Strauss with a changed nickname.
Because he's got like a tick next to his name. Is he one of your like subscribers?
Yeah, maybe.
Did you have to do?
I don't know how it's
How do you not know your subscribers, Sormon?
I've got 2,000.
This is your second.
I've got more subscribers than the average electorate in the NT.
That's pretty funny. Wait, how many subs do you have? Oh, you almost.
No, I don't actually have that.
Oh, one day, Sormon.
Oh dear.
So I have a question for you, Sormon. So I watched that video a couple months ago about how you're sort of depressed about the state of Australian politics.
Yes.
Are you feeling any better now after it's been a couple of months?
Kamala Harris taking over from Joe Biden's definitely made US politics feel a lot more optimistic. Like they're actually not running an old guy who's slowly dying. That's got me optimistic. Australian politics not so much. It just still feels like they keep pointing about like all the increasing. Like inflation still seems to be suddenly high. Apparently, inflation's gone up recently when other places have gone down. And like that's just got me a little like, oh, maybe we haven't really got out of this economic mess yet. And like there seems to be like no solution outside of just like bring on a recession in Australia and force everyone to have less money.
I was doing some numbers yesterday, and I think that there's a good chance that Labor could get under 70 seats. But my asterisk to that is I still don't think that the coalition have a chance of getting more seats than Labor. So I still think Labor minority government is like easily like the most likely option.
I'm getting more convinced that Dutton will not win any Till seats. I can tell you that. Like he just keeps.
I don't think he will either. Yeah.
Because like you're like, oh, Sky News will get me across the line. I don't even think these people watch Sky News in these electorates.
No, I don't think anyone in the Till seats really are impressed by Dutton's activities.
Quick election for the seat of Sormon and how we would vote if it was. What would the seat of Sormon be? Look at the comment by JM.
How would the seat of well, you got to end this poll and do another poll. Who are you going to vote for in the upcoming Fed election?
Really made very many big announcements or many major commitments.
All right.
I'm not against a minority government. Says Awesome Wab. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that a minority government is probably what would be good for Labor because honestly, I think it would take some of the responsibility away from them. Like they can just say, "Oh, we had to do it because the independents made us," and I think people would actually buy it. And and it'll be less toxic than the Greens, because independents are just independents. It's not, you know, the Greens, like in 2010.
Let's see what happens.
Oh dear.
Natasha, good luck.
Take care. Thanks, Jared.
Soon we'll be joined by former Deputy Chief.
So for your poll, just put Labour, Coalition, Greens.
Oh no, no, we got a poll coming up. That'll be a real fun one.
Okay, all right. Leave me with suspense. I'm excited. I think it will be 2010. I think it'll be similar to 2010, except there's going to be a huge crossbench.
All right, here we go.
When I say huge crossbench, I just mean a couple of seats.
Who's the better commentator? Me, you, or the ABC in the background?
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna vote for the ABC. Oh no! You can't do this to me. This is like a humiliation ritual. Let's see. Well, actually, I'm doing pretty well. Actually, I'm about equal with the ABC, which is pretty good. Labour almost never attack the Teals, but often go after the Greens in question time, even though Band has voted with Alba approximately 93% of the time. Can you give some analysis on that, Sormon, about why Labour might do that?
Remember, the Greens hold seats Labour wants, the Teals don't. Pretty much every seat the Teals hold is a seat Labour's never held, like, in years. Whereas the Greens hold Griffith, Melbourne, and Brisbane, which are all, like, former Labour seats. So they probably like see reason distinction from the Greens. The Teals are going to do, because the Teals are just taking seats from the Liberals, like solidly Liberal seats. So there's no reason for Labour to go after the Teals. So I think it's just hard politics.
Yeah.
That and the Greens have been a little bit more unresponsive on things like the key, like housing policies and climate policy, like playing hardball, demanding like the best of the best. Whereas I think the Teals are a little bit more like they'll call it out, but then they'll still vote for it. Whereas the Greens will call it out and then not vote for it.
I definitely think there's more political room to attack the Greens than there is the Teals. I agree with you. They kind of want to keep the Teal voters voting Teal, instead of, you know, thinking like, oh, these are just as bad as the Coalition or something like that, you know. So, and I guess also maybe they want the Teal voters preferencing Labour in case it comes down to a Labour. I mean, like, the only real seat that's sort of likely in is North Sydney. Like, Labour got sort of close-ish to winning that last election. Yeah, I came last. You got equal with the ABC. This was just an ego trip for you, Sormon.
I'm as good as the ABC, but...
So, okay, I got another question for you. Do you think the Greens will win Wills?
Actually, I'll make this as another serious poll. In the
under your reign to allow alcohol restrictions to lapse in remote Aboriginal communities, saying they were a mistake. Now that you're not at the helm and you've had time to reflect, at the time you wouldn't apologise for that decision. You've had time to reflect. Are you ready to say that you...
I apologise, everyone, for the slowness of results. I also thought it would come out quicker than this.
And I guess, you know, what we were trying to do in that space was alcohol is a legal product and we know the harm that it causes.
What was that election where it was called, like, really quickly after...
Oh, the WA one. Yeah, the WA one. I remember that.
Right.
As opposed to, you know, making communities dry.
Were we live streaming that one too? I can't remember.
I think I was, but by myself.
Oh, okay, right. Anthony Green is what saves ABC. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Yeah, I think that the Greens will win Wills.
Okay.
Because of the redistribution and the rental crisis, but I don't think they'll win any other seats because the climate issue has sort of died down a bit.
Well, because Labour actually does stuff on climate, so...
Well, they've done enough, and also the cost of living has become like the big thing. And like the other seats people talk about for the Greens are like McNamara and Richmond. Richmond is sort of like more of a climate thing. McNamara is like, I think it's actually getting parts of like Goldstein and stuff. So I don't think it's getting better for the Greens, and I just think it's going to be a Labour retain for McNamara.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, you spelt it federal.
Oh, I can't be blowed. I can't spell. I have to proof check everything.
Yeah, so it's a tricky issue.
By the way, if you're curious, it was about 35 degrees at about midday today. Yeah, it's hot up here.
It's robust. It's finding that balance.
Why do you think that? Go on. Sorry.
What was the weather like in Sydney?
It was a bit warmer today. I went for a bike ride. It was a nice weather.
Okay. Anyway, so you were saying something with someone.
I was saying something. A guy called something says the Greens will lose Brisbane but gain McNamara and Wills.
Will they lose Brisbane? Yeah, who do they lose Brisbane to? Like, who do they lose it to?
Probably, yeah, actually that's a good question because that really is a three-way contest, that seat.
Because it used to be an ALP seat, but then it gained a bunch of Liberal voting areas, but then the Greens kind of grew in Brisbane. And you know what's funny? One thing people don't realise is that the Teals and the Greens in some respects only got into the places they did because Labor voters voted for them. Like, I think the reason why Labor went backwards in the federal election last time is because a lot of those Labor voters in safe Liberal seats tactically voted for Teals. And like, even though they're only like 10% of the electorates, that's 10% of like 7 different electorates.
That's true. But I also mentioned there are results in. The chat is lighting up.
Oh, the results. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Any seats of interest? What seats are they called? Doesn't seem to indicate which one. Okay. So Namatjira, which is down in that's like the south corner of the territory. That's this area here. That one looks like it's swung to the Liberals. That's to be expected. Spillett, which is Leah's seat, that's swung to her, but like it's the leader's seat there. She's not going to lose that. So I think. And then finally we got Brennan, which is the most marginal seat in Palmerston, and it looks like the Liberals getting to the. I don't think these results are going to be the final results, but because they're currently showing massive swings. Oh, here we go.
Wait.
Wow, only two candidates.
Wait, what are the swings look like at the moment?
We're currently going to Brennan at the moment on the ABC if you want to watch.
Alright, okay, sweet. Okay, so Brennan. Yeah, that's
this was the most marginal. I think it's the CLP game last time in Palmerston.
Oh boy, that's a big swing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just an early booth though. Actually, I don't know what booth this is. This might be Palmerston's 7 to 9 score because I was there. Actually, the booth in Spillett was crazy. It was in the middle of a shopping centre. It was like in this like weird like fountain row with like all the shops that like had moats around them. These like little like affordable features. And one of the shops was actually a polling booth. It was like the only polling booth I'd ever seen surrounded by a moat.
Interesting. So yeah, this looks like a big CLP win if these swings are uniform.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Labor voters voted early, but I can't even think. It's interesting how they got Labor as LAB, not ALP. Oh, correct. It's not the Australian Labor Party. It's the NT Labor Party.
Yeah.
Now this is, I think it's an 18% swing to the CLP.
Wait, a swing to Labor in Guaja?
Or
something?
Good job.
Swings on so far. Guaja, which is Chansey Pake.
That's a massive swing to the CLP in Namatjira.
Have you never sung I Am Australian? I am a wit Namatjira and I paid the ghostly gums or whatever the lyrics are.
Yeah, okay.
I forget what his first name is. I think it's Emmett.
So it's not surprising this is different.
That's also like a marginal. Swing to 0.4% in Guaja. So that's
Albert, not Emmett. Albert Namatjira.
Let's just be clear there. They're traditionally the stronger parts of the Northern Territory for the CLP.
You're going to have to do that.
All three of them showed substantial.
You're going to do that silly Discord thing again because you're playing up.
Thanks a lot, Anthony.
Oh,
What do you make
yeah.
of that, Natasha?
I think, Barry, you've arrived at the perfect time. Welcome. We've just got a little bit of a swing on for you. You know, clearly there's swings.
I'm back.
There'll always be discrepancies with incumbency and also in the Bush seats. But, you know, I mean, I'm not surprised with the result there for the member for Brennan. She's someone that, you know, has worked hard in her election.
You should do another poll.
Put his hand up to
You
go
should ask.
but she's worked hard. She's put that
You
in.
should ask.
You are seeing a swing.
What should you ask?
Absolutely gonna ignore
That swing spilling across.
If
Do you
an
believe
independent
in
is gonna
life after love, or what is
has
it?
worked incredibly hard.
You should ask:
She's
Is
the
will
first
will
Labor member to
will an
ever
independent
hold
win
since we won
win
since
Goida?
2005. Claire
Goida?
Martin
Let's have a look at
lost the
Goida.
game pretty much 3 years later.
It's got a 6.8% margin to the independent, but it's the one where it's retiring. The independent's retiring.
Oh, okay.
Swing and with that redistribution, yes, we would be worried.
It's a very specific question, but maybe people will have some insight. I don't know. There's probably out of the people that are watching this, you're probably the only one who's actually in the Northern Territory. I'm guessing that.
Yeah, I
could be
wouldn't
wrong.
surprise you if I'm the other one in the end.
I've got some other figures coming
And
in. From
I have to ask this. I know I've asked this several times, but I have to ask this again. Is it just a coincidence that you're in the Northern Territory now,
No,
or
no.
did you purposely go with the election?
I
result?
wanted to visit my family, and I used the election as an excuse.
in the Tennant Creek town.
Okay, I see.
itself.
Okay, makes
So
sense.
that
Okay.
goes well for us as well.
So,
Okay, so we've
no
got-
update on my seat yet, which is I am in Karama,
When you get down
which
to
I'm expecting Labor to win
margin of less
Karama.
than 10, people get very nervous, and
So we've got
it's good to see those
40 to
results
60
coming
on
in.
whether an independent will win
Tennant Creek
Goida.
town, I mean, there's the
40 for yes, no,
candidate, I
60.
think, lives in Borroloola, and there's Robin.
Oh no, it's jumping up this one. There's actually a couple of independent candidates in the seat. There's like 3 independent candidates. Most seats there's only like 2 candidates, but this one there's like 5 candidates and 3 of them are independent.
You were in government during the glory run.
Tax
of
write-off.
CLP.
Why do you say tax write-off, JM?
Time on the other side.
What are you claiming that Sormon is gonna write off this trip to Darwin by saying it's his job or something because it's for the YouTube channel?
Look, I'm just on holiday at the moment. Like that's the way I've described myself.
A long time since I've
Well, by the way, Sormon, are you ever going to tell your viewers what happened in Canberra when we were there?
No, I won't.
All right, will forever remain a mystery for the Canberra incident.
to go $11 billion in debt. Tasmania's $3 billion.
So yeah, it's actually a pretty even question. Yes, 44%, no, 56%.
Breaking news: first figures reported. Oh dear.
So while we're still waiting for results, what do you think about RFK Jr. dropping out and endorsing Trump? What's your opinion on that?
I always think he's doing it. So you know how like after the Republican National Convention, Joe Biden resigned, and then like all the momentum from the Republican National Convention evaporated because Joe Biden resigning became the big story.
Yeah.
I think RFK doing it was trying to do the same for the Democrat National Convention. Like he was trying to resign and have his resignation sort of be the big story, but I don't think it's going to work because the president resigning is a way bigger deal than this random third-party candidate, popular as he might be. Also, people were kind of like, he kind of already feels like Trump. Like, in a lot of ways, he already had like a Trumpian aspect to him. Also, the only thing he's going to do right now, like, he resigned because he knew he was only pulling from probably from Republicans. Although it's kind of a bit like, so you're basically, I mean, you don't stand for anything, and you are more concerned about getting Trump elected than you are about like any sort of environmentalist stuff that you claim to have.
Remember how like a lot of people thought that Trump would drop J.D. Vance as the vice presidential candidate? Do you think maybe he'll drop J.D. Vance and replace him with RFK Jr.?
He can't, I'm pretty sure.
Like it's too late or what?
Yeah, like he's already, J.D. Vance has already been nominated as the Republicans' vice presidential candidate on the ticket. I think he's on ballots already. Like ballots that have been printed have him on it already.
Can I just jump in?
Oh, okay. Never mind then, scratch that.
Intel from Labor.
The best thing is RFK's got to get like a cabinet position, but even then I don't know if Trump will even do that. Trump stiffs so many people.
That's obviously very early
Joe Rogan has to decide between Trump, and not voting now. Oh, okay. Now that RFK is out, yeah.
Yeah, like I would be surprised if Joe Rogan just doesn't choose to support anyone. But if RFK endorses Trump, Joe Rogan might endorse Trump. Like, I feel sorry for he was kind of a little bit sorry for Joe Rogan because I think he was bullied by mainstream media and this kind of pushed him into the writer sphere. But like, he's become a very sad. I watched a video the other day where he was like, I used to think vaccines were the greatest invention of mankind, but they're like, we went to the moon, you know. And I'm like, you do realize like vaccines did so much to eliminate viruses like smallpox and stuff, but unfortunately, thanks to COVID, people now are skeptical of all vaccines, which is like just so depressing. It's one of these many ways I'm really depressed about the modern political sphere.
I think Joe Rogan is probably going to endorse Trump. I get that vibe.
I'm not sure Joe Rogan will endorse Trump, but he might be like, yeah, I'm probably going to vote for him, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah. That seems
well, he liked Trump in 2020. I remember when I was watching Kyle Kalinske talk with him during the election count. He was sort of really excited when the numbers were coming in massively red. Like, he might not have admitted it, but he seemed like, oh wow, look how red the map is. He was like, he was clearly excited by it, which I think is a concern I have with my YouTube channel. Like, I feel like I get more excited when Labour wins stuff, even though I'm not meant to be pro-Labour on this channel.
Maybe I can take over. Bill,
do you want to do a poll on who will win the US election now that we're chatting about it?
Oh yeah, I'll throw it up there.
While we wait.
Yeah.
It's now breaking news. What have we got breaking news? Wait, was the breaking news just the first figures report?
Yes, that's all it is.
Oh, never mind. Okay. Something says a lot more results in, but
alright, I'll quickly check over it.
Joey19 says, great stream. He is obligated to keep him on the ticket per Republican National Committee rules. Not since 1972 has a VP ever been dropped mid-election. Thomas Eagleton and Sergeant Shriver consensually. Oh, okay, so they dropped out like themselves, right? That's the only reason they were replaced. So yeah, I don't think JD Vance is going to drop out. I think Kamala will win by the popular vote, but Trump will win in seats. So you think Yex thinks it's going to be?
My money's on Harris at the moment because Trump's just imploding at the moment. Like, he can't stay on policy because the Democrats are fans. They just insult Trump's ego. He can't let it go. He can't let it go and focus on policy. He has to fight back. When they comment on his dick size, Obama literally was saying crowd size, but then doing the hand gesture of dick size. Like, it's things like that. Trump can't let it go. He can't, because if he was talking about immigration and the economy, he'd win, but he can't because he has to have the last laugh, and it's destroying him. And the Democrats are having a field day by just throwing insults his way and watching him.
All right, do you want to look at these results? You've got CLP 6, Labour 2.
Yep.
So 6, that's actually only one under what they currently have. And other is 1, actually. We've got other 1. So an independent is probably already 1 seat.
Let's look at the change in vote.
Here we go.
Labour votes collapsing down 22%.
Oh, this is Karama. This is my seat. Okay, Labour could be losing Karama.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, I was not expecting this one. Fannie Bay. Oh, the Greens are up in Fannie Bay.
Oh my God, Karama 61% to the CLP. Fuck. Fannie Bay. The Greens are coming first.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Greens could win Fannie Bay.
Is that the one that they're calling for an other?
Possibly. The Greens were targeting the seat massively. Also, it has a lot of affluent people, Fannie Bay. The affluent people are often like the Greens because, like, when you've got lots of money, you've got time to think about like the environment and protecting the whales.
Oh yeah, so I mean, at this point with these kind of swings, it looks like CLP are probably going to get a majority, and probably the leader is going to lose her seat in Drysdale. It seems.
Yeah. See, I've got no count in Drysdale at the moment.
Karama, the margin there was 9.1%, and currently the CLP are ahead 60-40. So
Yeah. Fun fact: they haven't called any of the seats yet, though, on the ABC app currently.
Right, but the ABC have called 6 seats.
Yeah, they're probably the CLP seats that are having swings towards the CLP. I'm not sure if they haven't indicated any gains yet. Like if I go to changing seats, I think that's there's nothing in the changing seats section at the moment.
Sup, James E65, and yes, I know who you are. Joey Yo19 says, it's still leading Trump in my view. Early voter registration has 19,000 new Republicans voting in Arizona, only 3,000 Democrats. It's in contradiction to polls, but Trump's polls are usually skewed. I think Trump will probably win Arizona. I think it really just comes down to if Kamala can win like the Rust Belt, basically.
I'm not entirely sure, just because since abortion got overturned, Trump has been overperforming. I remind you, during the primaries, Trump underperformed the polls against Nikki Haley. Like it was said, Trump would win by 80, and he ended up winning by 65 or like 70. And it's like he saw like up like he went from like 5 to 10% swings lower than the polls were, like against what the polls were. The CLP is the Country Liberal Party.
Yep.
They merged.
So it's basically the Libs, but they got a country next to their name.
Yeah, they merged with the National. Well, back when the Nationals used to be called the Country Party, and back then in the 70s they merged with the Liberals. Just before the first territory election, and it ended up being very successful because they went on to win every election until 2001.
The lack of economic growth, the crime issues that we're facing. How are you going to go about working towards?
But they're basically the Nationals. At least in federally, they're basically the Nationals.
I'm feeling a bit. If this is the result, I'm feeling a bit gleed at the fact that I think I was one of the only people that predicted a CLP majority here.
Majority.
Oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Is Anthony Green about to call the election?
I think I've lost my $15. I think my $15 is gone.
I think he might be calling a seat. Oh, he might be calling the former Territory Alliance person might have lost their seat in the ACT. I don't know what's going on at the moment. They're doing a welcome to country or something at the moment. I don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah, they're just doing a sort of a recap while they wait for more results, I think.
Oh. Why did they cut out? Actually, my cousin, my auntie's oldest son is currently in Alice Springs at the moment. I was always joking to get him to do some photos for me and like some vlogging, but he's not a vlogger, so also he's currently working.
Are you gonna make a video like?
Yeah. So I'll be working on uploading a vlog hopefully by the end of next week over what I was up to today. I was always said to do it before doing the live stream, but I decided against it.
Tomorrow, I'm probably going to go on the Metro and do like a vlog.
Oh, that will be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that on next weekend.
And I'm Eleni Roussos. Let's get the latest on the count with Anthony Green.
All right, I'm going to be quiet for a bit while we let Anthony Green talk. Because obviously the MC is just as good as me.
Alice Springs is pretty cool, Aussies elect, and I visited a few years ago. Oh yeah, we did go visit Alice Springs. It seemed like an okay place back then, but I hear it has gotten worse.
Wow.
That's a big
CLP
thing.
is almost at 50%.
Yeah, that's a big change. They're really going over what the polls were pointing at.
Well, the polls were kind of unreliable.
But Labor's not doing as badly. I guess like independents are underperforming. Yeah, independents are really underperforming.
I think people see the chaos at the moment and want a single party. Like, I think it's, like the issue they have is not so much with the government. The issues they have with those things, when you got issues like crime, that's when you want to turn to a strong party unity rather than vote for minority. Like, for instance, the reason why all the independents won in the 2022 federal election was because people were angry at the government. They weren't concerned about crime. They were concerned about government corruption and stuff like that.
And everyone who's voting for the government goes and vote early. If this is the trend on the day, then something like this is also going to be in the early votes. I think it's pretty clear that the government is not going to survive this swing, and it's a matter of by the end of the night.
It's Joba, Labour bros. Yeah, I think it is Joba.
Yeah, it's looking very like I'm feeling more confident that I was right in predicting CLP majority.
I'm kissing my $15 goodbye.
This will be if this is the win for the CLP, which is looking likely. This will be the first time a Liberal or right-wing government has run from opposition since 2018 in South Australia.
is.
Ooh, that is a long time. How about 6 years?
6 years, yeah, more than 6 years because the SA election happens earlier in the year.
So actually, one thing I was thinking about, and we probably can do a better analysis after this is all over. But what does this look like for Lingiari, the federal seat of Lingiari in
I don't think it's going to mean much at the moment. Actually, maybe if like Alice Springs becomes very hostile to Labour.
The results have shown us that so far the results, again, it's still very early.
But like, I feel like the crime issue is very much a territory issue. It's not necessarily going to be affecting the federal level. Although I do know, I think the alcohol ban was a federal policy.
I think my seat's a little bit unique, and I have.
Also, maybe if like between now and the next election, if like the CLP doesn't clean up the crime, then maybe like they'll be like, well, they're not doing any good either. So you know,
they haven't actually. It's a fun fact. They haven't actually called any of the seats yet. Wow.
Right. Well, it is kind of weird, the ABC website, because this does often happen where they have like a number up, but then they don't.
Yeah.
When it comes to like a seat by seat thing, it doesn't. They don't actually call the seats.
Barry, take us into what happened post 2016 in the party.
How's that seat that Goida seat, whatever?
Goida is current no count.
Oh, boo!
What's funny is Goida's been having a whole bunch of like tiny booths, so it should be like easy to count.
Mick Cookie, who I know as Trevor, says for Labour this is definitely not going too well, and I agree. This is not going too well for Labour. Can the Greens become the opposition or not? No, the Greens.
No,
will become the opposition.
The Greens will win like Fanny Bay and nothing else.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yex says that if Lingiari goes CLP, Dutton will win. I don't think that's true. I think the coalition can still win Dutton. Can still win Lingiari and still lose. Definitely.
He's had to make certain promises when he's received.
How many seats will Pauline win? Pauline will not win any seats in the House of Reps.
Besides, Dutton has kind of moved to the right. Like he's set himself up to win. Like pretty much on Twitter, like most of the alt-right is sort of gone to Dutton. Like he said exactly what they want to hear. Like immigration bad. I'll shut down immigration. I'm Australia first. You know, he gets triggered by all the same right-wing cultural issues they do. So like,
the One Nation are not going to win any seats in the House of Reps, but they could win an extra Senate seat in somewhere like South Australia, as we talked about in there.
Yeah, that was one. I remember that surprised me afterwards.
This not Fez, says Jared Walsh. Yeah, but like this does have federal ramifications though. So, someone in my comments of the video was talking about how well One Nation would do if they were in like the Northern Territory election.
Maybe. I don't know. I think
they don't have the resources really.
Yeah.
Yes, Sanderson, Kate Warden against Charles for the CLP. This is one polling place, one of the polling places.
See, I know nothing about politics.
This is North Darwin, I think.
And we're saying that there's actually a 20% swing in that.
Sanderson?
Oh wow,
that projects the CLP ahead. Now we're not giving that away, but that shows
Sanderson.
Yeah, that's it's typically a very safe Labour seat, and the CLP are ahead. So yeah, it's game over for Labour.
Yeah, I wasn't actually expecting the CLP to win any seats in North Darwin, but it looks like they are doing exactly that. Oh, it's going to be a green CLP competition? That's insane. The Greens were irrelevant before this election. Whoa!
That is quite strange, yeah. Breitling. That's, where's Breitling?
Breitling is, where is it?
Breitling. Oh, that's a CLP seat.
That's an Alice Springs seat.
Fuck. Like, what the fuck?
That's 68 vote.
The thing to say about this, look, that's the
In Alice Springs, Green's doing well.
Yeah, well,
That's how little I know about NT politics.
A good handle on that, but we're seeing these sorts of swings everywhere. We've got 3 seats where
the Greens are also ahead in Namadjira.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I think it seems like Labour might have shot themselves in the foot by pivoting to like fossil fuels and stuff. It might have just alienated their passionate voters to go to the Greens.
The early vote, and you've got to be organised to get out there and do all that. So at the moment, everything is pointing to a very bad defeat.
Northern Territory just doesn't like Labour. Well, at this moment, they don't like Labour, it seems.
Controversial opinion, I don't think Labour will be as bad as the CLP in 2016 when they only won 2 seats. Right.
Controversial opinion? Well, it's looking pretty bad for them right now.
From the NT's election centre to some of the day's top stories. First, the New South Wales Hunter region has been hit with
they have not called any seats yet. I'm just going to reload the page. Yeah.
You want to do like you want to do a poll about whether or not Labour will win more than 3 seats?
Yeah, I'll
that's what it's looking at like at the moment.
How many seats will Labour? Oh, I realise I've not run it.
Make sure to write NT Labour so that people Oh, I just realised that you titled the video Electorates.
Oh, great! I'll fix that up.
I only just realised that, and then we're like 2 hours into the stream. Oh, an hour and a half. Sorry.
Who was known to the man in Nambucca Heads yesterday. She was charged with domestic violence, murder, and faced court today where she did not apply for bail. Police are trying to determine what caused the death of a man who was found in Western Sydney Park this morning. A passerby discovered the man in the Auburn Park just before 7 a.m. He had suffered a serious injury to the back of his head.
I'm going to be generous and say 3 to 5.
Okay.
Be saved. He's yet to be formally identified, but is believed to be aged.
Green slide says something.
Meanwhile, in Melbourne,
yeah, no, it looks like it. Given that they've never won any representation in NTM, right?
You're gonna need to restart your mic. Sorry.
58-year-old man was found with
Okay,
stab wounds
I'll be back, everyone.
Park in the early hours of this morning. The passerbys who located him and
this will be only the second time the CLP have won an election in the 21st century.
A manhunt is underway in Germany following a mass stabbing incident at a festival in the West.
The second time they won the Northern Territory?
In the 21st century, yes.
Right, okay, right. So, at the moment, 3 to 5 is winning at 56%. Looks like the consensus at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do as bad as the CLP did in 2016. But yeah, I think. Have we got any results from Port Darwin yet? Nothing in Port Darwin. Fong Lim. Unfortunately, Darwin and Fong Lim have been counted from the same polling booth. Fong Lim didn't have a polling booth. I feel sorry for people in that electorate. Fanny Bay. Yeah, Greens.
You can no longer bet on the Country Liberal Party winning in Northern Territory anymore. Like on.
Have they called it? Wow. Well, wait. When they shut the polling booth, it's when they shut polling at 6 o'clock anyway.
No, they don't. They often keep it going for quite a while. But yeah, you can't bet on NT politics on Sportsbet or Betfair anymore because I think that it's ogre.
Yep.
In their opinion.
So Labour's head. Let's see what they're heading right now. Going through it. They're heading up Fura. It's 1.
Gave Tigers fans something to cheer about. Starting as the sub, but coming on to goal in his AFL game.
Wow, I'm going through the list and I'm not finding anything. Labour's heading in Goyja, so that's 2.
Sormon and Aussies like to calling it for the CLP. They have won the Northern Territory 2024 election.
Yeah, I think they have. I think they've got a majority.
Shout out to the one guy who voted for 10 or more seats for the Labour Party on 6%.
Yeah. And the Richmond Tigers have won the Wooden Spoons in the AFL this year.
Is there any results for Nightcliff yet?
Nightcliff, no.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the safest Labour seat.
Welcome
Yeah.
back to the ABC.
I think they've
Election
won.
Centre. You're watching NT Votes live from Darwin. It's just past 7:37 p.m. Central Time, and about 4% of the vote.
Anthony Green is going to have to call.
Yeah, I think he's calling it soon.
Yeah.
And I'm Bridget Brennan. Let's get the latest on the count with Anthony Green.
Primary vote, a drop of 10% for the Labor Party.
Very quickly, just thought I'd put a bit more.
Country Liberal up 18%, almost at 50% of the vote.
Good on. If the Greens win Fanny Bay, that will be incredible. More incredible than the CLP winning the election, in my opinion.
With a reduced margin as the usual.
I think that's just a cope. I think that's a cope, Sormon.
Look,
I mean, I think it is pretty incredible. I agree.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, as much as personally, I'm not a big fan of the Liberal Party. Like, it's the Northern Territory. It means nothing. It's like how the Liberals win Brisbane City Council.
What about all the Northern Territorians?
Like, it means a lot more to them. Remember, I'm not from the NT.
Yeah. How many times have you been to the NT? I've only been once, and I've never been to Darwin.
I've been to the NT 5 times. I went in 2007 for my cousin's wedding. In I think 2009, I went on a road trip from Adelaide up to Catherine, so I didn't go to Darwin. In 2014 or 16, I had my other cousin get married, and then a few years later, the third my cousins got married. So this is the second time I've been up here that's not for a wedding, because all my cousins are married now.
So Anthony Green is going on about Fanny Bay. It looks like the Greens have won that one.
Yeah,
certainly not something we're predicting at the moment. In fact, I'll just say I'll go.
At this point, I think the Greens could have won a bunch of seats, like in Upper Darwin, like if they campaigned there. Because
no, they were campaigning. Like, don't get me wrong, they were at most of the booths I was at.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just real. They had like most of their focus on Fanny Bay because like you need a starting point before you can make a bigger.
We've got seats falling over the place, but our hard-coded thing
is
stopping them from being called.
Oh yeah, the machine because the swings are quite large, and so the machine's like, oh, I'm not sure these are real swings yet.
How many are leading? What that question means.
Looks like Labour's winning Johnston. Okay, so Labour's up in 3 electorates at the moment. It's 3-9 to 1. I don't know what the 1 is. Is that Mulca?
Territory Alliance vote, a lot of that would have gone to the CLP.
You mean independent?
No, Mulca's got no count at the moment. Yeah, I don't know which one's the independent at the moment.
0.8% to the
Oh no, the independent would be Fanny Bay. What I'm saying, yeah.
6%. That's not going to suddenly reverse. Perhaps Labor might do slightly better with the early votes.
I don't. Do you think the CLP will win? I want to actually. What did Labor get in 2016?
To see how many seats change hands.
Labor got 57.5% two-party preferred.
We're seeing Labor's.
Yeah, I don't think the CLP will have 60, but at the end of the night, I think they'll have something like 57 or 55.
They seem very confident in Breitling and in Fanny Bay, and we knew from the start that they were targeting a few.
Raf Schmuel says CLP 18, Labor 4, Independent 2, Green 1. I think that feels pretty accurate to me at this point as well.
Yeah. I'm just going to quickly take a little. I need to quickly take a break. I'll be back in a minute.
No problems. So Jared Walsh says CLP 60%. That is a pretty big two-party prefer. That's much bigger than any of the polls suspected. Much bigger than the poll in June suspected, which was like a dead heat. Safe to say CLP government minority or majority in play. Most likely majority. With the fact that they're like ahead in Sanderson by like 10 points, that points to a. Is this Joe Albatross?
Oh, they've got the member for Linkiari up at the moment. Oh, it's the senator, Marion.
Lucas Owen says, "Is this Joe Albatross?"
Joe Albatross, what?
He's asking if it's Joe Albatross.
By the way, I've just closed the poll for the NT Labour seat count. Actually, I guess I may as well do one for the NT Liberals.
Good idea, yeah. I think 3 to 5 seems about right to me as well. Albatross Joe from OzPS.
actually at this point.
What are the results you're getting in from the bush? What's the mood from the bush, some of those key seats you were hoping to retain or gain?
Well, we worked very hard in Barkly and Namatjira, of course. They were two previous Labor seats, and we lost them in the last Northern Territory election.
Joe.
Marion Scringer, as the member
Okay.
has been incredibly important in that battle for those seats. We've got great candidates in Shirley Taylor for Namatjira and Lizzie Hogan for Barkly.
All right, poll is up.
He's had some outstanding swings on booths so far tonight.
How many seats will the CLP win? I'm gonna go 15 to 18 at this point. I think that seems about right. I think they'll probably win the upper tier of
I
that.
think there were lots of issues that we were facing, but Eva Lawler gave us a really strong fighting chance tonight.
As you say, Minister, early
Lab, they are sad.
the vote counted.
Yeah, they would be sad. This is a complete destruction of them.
Seats. What are the issues, do you believe, that have led to voters in a lot of seats deserting Labor?
16 says yes.
Oh, look, I think we have to remember that time is also a big issue in politics.
Jared Walsh says I'll go with 21. That's a lot of fucking seats. Sorry, I swore. I don't know if that's allowed on YouTube. Labor will gain more than 60%. Well, gain more than 60% of seats, or gain more than 60% from what they currently got at the moment. Arafura, Labor ahead 58.2.
Yeah, Arafura is it looks like I think Labor was going to do fine in the Indigenous areas, but the non-Indigenous
Right,
areas I
yeah.
think they're going to.
Right, that makes sense. Yep.
What federal implications
What is
will
Barkly?
there
That
be
is
for the federal government minister and particularly
5.
for Indigenous affairs at federal
Yeah,
level?
yeah. I
with
have
the
to
change
see
of
what they know
government?
in Barkley.
Well, we've seen an increase in participation on the...
Karama is the one that's really surprising me. I was generally not expecting Labor to do so badly in that one.
referendum last year, where there was an incredible drive to ensure that First Nations people in particular were enrolled. So we're going to see those numbers flow through in this election.
Arafura, I believe, is also the seat that Labor won on that by-election by
Yeah.
a really huge margin.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
How's
I think Green's about to, has Green not called the election yet? He must
I
be
don't think
calling.
he has. How's Daly
I
doing?
think he's going to call it now. He has to be calling it now. Yeah, it's great. He's going to call it now.
Here at the tally room the ABC's tally room in the Northern Territory in Darwin, the current Labor government, the Labor government has been defeated. It looks like it's a substantial defeat, and it looks like the CLP will win with a majority, and maybe even a substantial majority.
It's all good.
Swing this on. We'll look at a few seats in a moment.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm just going to quickly video I'm just videoing myself, so I'm going to
talk a lot about Northern Darwin. That's where elections are made and unmade.
He's going to do a vlog or something. Okay,
Yeah,
but
I'm
anyway,
vlogging
Anthony
right
Green.
now. Hey guys, so I'm currently at home at the moment. Anthony Green has just called the election for the CLP. So it looks like it was a way bigger swing than I think a lot of people were expecting. But yeah, it does look like the CLP will win majority government. Yeah, that'll be going in my vlog.
So yeah, the Independents underperformed, Labor underperformed, CLP overperformed. That's pretty much the gist of this election. Greens did pretty much as well as the polls suspected, I think, actually. Even in Northern Darwin, the CLP.
Yeah, that's Labor's heartland.
That is crazy.
This is the Tennant Creek Early Voting Centre.
They must be really mad about the crime, I guess.
The CLP's ahead. Now, on that polling place, that's a 12.6% swing.
Barkly.
He won it by 5 votes.
This Barkly is like got a margin of like.
Mobiles that are coming in.
Oh, that's actually a CLP seat by like 0.1. It's the most marginal seat. Yeah.
CLP are at 10, Labor's at 4. It does look, yeah, so Labor's not facing the same 2016 catastrophe that the CLP faced, so they'll still be competitive, I think, come next election. Maybe I'm overconfident, but I think Labor will win at least 5 or 6. I think they should win like somewhere between 5 and 10.
which would be enough to win that.
Vikash Patel asks, is there a decision desk or is it just Anthony? I think there is a decision desk, yes.
Yeah.
Riley Davies says, I reckon that Labor's done for at least a decade.
No. Oh, the funny made their first claim. Okay.
Actually, I think will be slightly better for Labor.
What's that? What's the claim?
So the claim, Wanguri, which has been claimed as a CLP pickup in far North Darwin.
Right.
They also called Johnston as ALP retain, in also North Darwin.
Wanguri, that's 17.3% margin.
Yeah.
They've claimed that's a CLP gain.
Also, to anyone who says Labor will be in opposition for the decade, I remind you, the CLP won 2 seats in 2016. They're about to form government again in less than a decade, so do not write off parties.
I think we've only got one polling place here, but Labor.
A lot of people thought Dunn was dead.
Andrew Mackay.
Yeah.
Mackay is ahead.
Wong Lim, that's the CLP are going to win that seat as well.
Yeah.
Kezia Purick is in
Independent. That's in Goida. That's the seat where you've got 3 independent candidates.
Yeah, it looks like they're not combining votes together. I think.
I would point out in Goida.
I think it's Ogre in Goida.
Yeah, I know Goida very well because he famously the guy Goida, the seat's named after. He drew the line of demarcation where you can grow farms in South Australia. Like if you can't grow crops above the Goida line. That's what I know about him.
Oh. Is that because it would take too much water to
he did rain samples over like a year and like determined where rain falls and doesn't fall.
Oh, I see. Okay. Do they still use that line? Or
no. Better farming practices have allowed people to break above the line, but like in the old days, people had built farms above the Goida line and they all failed. And like Goida was like, I told you so.
Oh, I see. Alright, okay. Yeah. I thought it would be some kind of like legislative rule or something because for water use or something, but I know there's something like that in Northern Territory.
Yeah.
They were talking about it on. Did you watch that water grab thing on the Four Corners?
No, I didn't, unfortunately.
A terrific candidate, and the way she's just jumped with a pretty.
I'm wondering what would have happened if Natasha Files wasn't forced to resign.
But fascinating in a sense.
I think this is like inevitable. That Labour Party will.
Yeah, well, I actually thought they were going to lose 2020 if COVID hadn't happened.
You were in power. You were the leader.
Right.
Any regrets?
Oh, your hindsight's a wonderful thing. Of course, you wish.
So we'll look at Natasha File just getting shade thrown away by the liberal candidate. Like she's having to snap back.
4 years, and when you only have 2 years really of that time does come around very quickly. So that probably, for me is, that, we did an enormous amount of legislation,
I would say, Eva Lawler, when I met her in Palmerston today, definitely looked very defeated. That's why I was kind of confident in a CLP victory. I think she's kind of going to be glad to be away from the top job.
Barry, are you expecting this kind of a sting?
So, who will be Labour leader after this?
Well, based on what Labour's going to have left, I don't know. Possibly Joel Bowden in Johnston might be one of the few people left to take over the role. I don't know if he's a minister of anything. Let's have a look.
The Green candidate would do very well, and that's proven to be true.
Let's see.
The other issue is
Minister for Infrastructure, Planning and Logistics. So he's obviously a frontbencher. So yeah, maybe. I don't know who else has won the seat, but currently Joe Bowden seems like the most high-profile Labour member to probably take over as leader, following Eva Lawler. Because I don't think Eva Lawler's even won her own seat. Have we even got results from Drysdale yet? No, but I wouldn't be surprised if Eva Lawler's lost her seat.
Well, she's definitely not going to stay on as leader after this, this kind of result. Even if she wins a seat.
I don't know about traditionally held.
So this actually makes, like, if this result was like in the federal election, it would actually make Solomon like.
Yeah, no, Labour would be losing both Lingiari and Solomon, I think, at this rate.
Yeah. But I think it's long enough away from the federal election that, like,
Yeah.
People are gonna sort of be like, all right, the CLP has been in government for.
Also, the CLP might now they've won. All these problems will be on them, and so
Exactly.
it might end up.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Ways depending on the electorate.
Lucas Irwin says, "Is this Sormon guy in a political party IRL?"
And in the inner areas where
I'm not allowed to comment on that.
more popular, it's pointing towards the Greens, and you're seeing that.
I can say that I'm definitely not in a political party. I'm actually working on the New South Wales local elections next month, so I can't be in a political party if I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Fully embraced the gas industry, for instance, and opening up the Beetaloo, which is also what the CLP wants to do.
You're calling you Joe for some reason.
What's happened is that,
Wait, what?
You know, on both sides, Labor's lost trust.
He's calling you Joe, this Lucas Irwin guy.
People have gone their separate ways, and now we're seeing results like in Breitling and in Fanny Bay, where the Greens are doing potentially really well tonight.
Thanks, Tom.
Yes, I know you're working there, Mr. Irwin.
Kale, the CLP candidate in Port Darwin. I don't think we've got any numbers just yet.
Oh yes, I talked with this woman earlier today.
You would be encouraged by this big swing.
She wasn't super cheerful when I talked to her. Like she was alright. She was friendly, but like she was not as friendly as like some of the other candidates I met. And I'm not just talking about, there were some really friendly CLP guys, like especially in Palmerston. Palmerston, sorry.
So apart from the Tasmanian election, when was the last election Labor lost?
The previous Tasmanian election.
When was that?
2021.
Oh, okay.
And if you go back before then, it's the 2019 federal election.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's been 5 years since there's been sort of like a big election loss. I mean, with Tasmania, right? Like,
the CLP went backwards every time. Yes. I mean, the
Exactly.
Liberals went backwards. This is the first time.
Yeah.
This is the first time the Liberals have made gains since 2019.
So yeah, like I would only really call the Tasmanian wins sort of half wins, you know, because the first one had only lasted a couple of years, and the second one, like they're in hung parliament with like a party and independents, you know.
You know, I think the one concern I think Labor's going to face come the next federal election is they're not going to have Labor on the ground helping to roll out Aboriginal voting in Lingiari and stuff like that. The CLP is not going to be as incentivized to roll out predominant Labor voters, and so that could actually result in lower turnout and result in Labor losing Lingiari. So that will be an interesting result to see.
Forward by-election, if you think that counts, just no, it doesn't really count. In my opinion.
What's happening?
The forward by-election, JM mentioned that as sort of like a coalition win, but
yeah,
it
well,
was just a retain.
Same with Dunkley. Like I think there was an even bigger swing in Dunkley to the Liberal Party than there was in Fadden. But this is the first. Go on.
Joe asked, is Dutton attending the CLP victory event?
No, because this is a Liberal event, and this is a Nationals thing. If anyone was going to attend, it would be David Littleproud. David Littleproud might show up later on the night, actually.
Excuse me, Rash Mule. What about the Greens? The Greens are going to win Fanny Bay.
They are looking likely to win Greens, yeah, Fanny Bay. Let's have a check. Is there any updates on Fanny Bay? Still too early. Oh, no, Labor has taken over in Fanny Bay.
Will you be asking Leif Nokiara for that position?
Boo! Boo! I want Greens to win.
Yeah. Sorry, I think it was a fluke. It might not. Although the Greens are doing very well, so maybe they set themselves up for next time. I think as this count's going on, I think the Greens are going to drop. What was that? Was it Durack or something where the Greens got a huge shot up? And
Hang on. The Labor Party haven't taken over. That's just the two-party between Labor and the CLP. They haven't taken over.
Yeah, but I don't. Labor votes will probably go to the CLP a bit more than the Greens do.
What? But it's still going to be between the Greens and CLP. It's not going to be between Labor and the CLP.
No.
The Greens.
Maybe the independent votes go to Labor. You know, you're right. Yeah, I don't know what's that's going on there. Yeah, maybe the Greens still have a chance to win.
I will be in the... Okay, I'm going to dox myself right now, but I'll be in the Bayside Town Hall for when I'm working at the local elections. So if anyone wants to see me, go there, I guess. Yex says in the Cook by-election, the Greens did well. Yeah, I mean the Greens are up in the polls.
Oh no, the Greens didn't do well because Labour didn't run a candidate.
Oh, okay, right. Well, they still did pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
Even considering that, right?
Still nothing. Still nothing from Drysdale.
Are you guys still solid in your federal election prediction from a bit ago, or has things shifted? I think at this point, if there was an election today, Labour would win under 70 seats. But I still think they'd win more seats than the coalition.
I'm gonna.
I think the Labour Party is going to recover before the next election.
Well, let's start with those statewide votes. Labor's on 28%, drifting down a little bit. The CLP 48.3, the Greens on 6.5. 15% in the seats they're contesting.
What's going on?
So the Greens, that's because they're only
Oh, sorry.
seats above us, 18%. People wondering
Yeah.
done Drysdale, we haven't got any figures.
Vikas Patel says, I think Albo will hold on next year, but even TPP polls are really close.
Since the last election, the Labour votes down 11.
Yes, Mr. Owen, I'm going to visit you.
Of course, not there this time. Their votes flowing mainly through to the CLP, and to the others you would expect.
Jared Walsh says, can the CLP win it? I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think the CLP have won.
What the country Liberals need to win the election. I thought I'd draw the chamber for the first time. Let's start to fill in the seats. We're definitely giving.
Wait, who voted no?
At the moment, we've got the CLP on 10, Labour on 4.
Did you vote no, Sormon?
No, I'm not voting. I can't.
We don't give away the first figures. We have to get a few more figures before we start to give them away. But the CLP are on 11. We've got a few more which are leaning one way very strongly, and just
is my microphone
the CLP down.
Yeah, unfortunately it is.
CLP need 2 more seats definitely to form government.
I'm back, guys.
I think I now have a seat run I just wanted to talk about. We're trying to make sure that we keep giving figures for seats as they come in. And Robin Lamley, she's the Gillen polling place. She's ahead on 46.9. She's doing better this time as an independent than she did as a Territory Alliance candidate.
Hey, the independent actually is holding the Alice Springs seat. We didn't expect that.
Independents, and when they go and join a party, you tend to.
So Arula, which I think is North Alice Springs, is looking like it's. Oh no, sorry, it's that South Alice Springs. Sorry, it's looking like it's going to stay in the hands of the independent.
As the Territory Alliance candidate, and it's turning into a 10% swing to her. So Robin Lamley's easily re-elected in Araluen. And a seat we're just now looking at, we've got, I think, is it Wagate or Wadgate Ridge? Wagate Ridge. And we've got one of the mobile polling booths has come in, and Duran Young is ahead 59.9. The change in vote, there were some other candidates on the ballot paper last time, and now I'll show this because this is a bit complex.
Sorry, I was just responding.
With a 6% margin before the election, that was the by-election margin.
Hey Sormon, can you run a state Polson?
A state Polson?
So there's a slight swing to Labour in Daly.
I'm not exactly sure what he means by that.
But that's one of the brighter results we've seen for the Labour.
It's say 11 seats now for the CLP. Where is the leader seat? Do you mean the CLP leader or the Labour leader?
CLP leader is, I think, Sanderson. No, Spillett, sorry. Spillett, and she's winning that with 75% of the vote. Nothing yet from Drysdale on either Lawler's seat. This is annoying.
How is it that
Daly is actually really close. That's the seat that the Labour Party picked up at a by-election.
Between Indigenous and non-Indigenous
Arafura.
so in your face, and how it
No, Daly.
be okay.
No, Daly, yeah.
So I think
Yeah, that one's really close.
to answer. I think
As you said, like the Indigenous seats are not doing too badly for Labour. They're getting absolutely killed in like the.
Yeah, well, I'm worried that they were able to get those because they have good voter turnout or voter drives out there, but those voter drives might not be there if the CLP get control of the territory. So they might be in trouble come next election.
A year or two to get the programs in place when we got to government. But then I also think
Upkin says giving Ipswich West by-election vibes.
Oh yeah, that one. That was a massive swing to the
the cost of living. We talk about it
to the CLP. I
LNP.
mean to the
Oh
LNP.
right, yeah.
Because that was a safe Labour seat that the LNP won.
Really pushing was the delivery of healthcare in remote communities, keeping people in community. Why does Watto not have a renal unit? And that's something that
one concern I have had is, how like there was this concern that like Labour parties were just dying across, specifically Australia, like they just weren't as popular anymore. And they feel like COVID made them popular again, but I'm worried that they're going back to being unpopular.
I really do think it's because of the quote unquote cost of living crisis. I really do think that's what's.
And you think
hurting all. it's hurting all incumbent governments basically. Apart from Tasmania. Tasmania. Honestly, Tasmania, the Labor Party really should have tried to form government there, but they just gave up.
Yeah,
I honestly think that in Tasmania, the Labor Party had the mandate to form government there. They just were like, can't be bothered. So
yeah, they were like being real dogmatic there. I didn't like it.
Nobody has a third of the vote there.
Johnston looks like an independent might win that one actually.
No, I think Billy Barton's votes will go to John.
The Greens will probably favour Justine Davis.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, actually no, they do think the independent might win.
Justine Davis,
well, it depends. Yeah, you're right. It depends where the Green preferences go.
Yeah, but I don't know. A lot of Greens voters are very like the reason they vote Greens is they hate Labor. So, well, not so much they hate Labor, they really don't like Labor.
Not going to win on those numbers.
I think Justine Davis is kind of like got that green energy.
Right. Okay.
Like she's not like a sort of a crazy far right one. She's sort of just a vote for me because I'm independent and I'm not captured by the major parties, which has sort of got the same vibes the Greens like.
I won't be the two-party preferred because
Johnston, that seat is a.
So I'm wrong.
A safe Labor.
Yeah, it's.
That's 4 polling places.
Eva Lawler has been predicted to lose her seat. Drysdale's polling votes have come through. Eva Lawler has lost her seat.
Oh dear.
Are we going to be seeing success for independents tonight, do you believe?
CLP also looks like they've gone blank. I think CLP has won every seat in Palmerston.
I thought the Johnson lady was a very good independent. I liked her post.
Not really a surprise, but
looked like
yeah,
a decent person, and I had expectations.
Yeah, so Drysdale is being called a CLP game by the
in the electorate a lot, and from people.
So just like 2016, the government goes down with their leader.
She comes across very well. She goes and seeks information.
Have we got any results for Nightcliff yet?
Nightcliff.
Very little in the way of resources.
Yes, Greens are slightly ahead. So it could be another Green seat. We'll see what the Greens are at. Natasha Files is currently leading first preferences, but the Greens are in second place. So Files at 32, Greens at 24.
Can I also say
that is interesting. Oh, there's an independent too.
Yes, and the independent votes. I don't know what. I feel like I'm kicking myself not looking into the independents more. I should have looked into the independents more to see where they're going.
I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult.
Oh, you usually get left or right vibes for independents. Like the left vibe independents are like the government's corrupt, and we need to do more to protect the environment, yada yada. And the right wing independents are more like the government.
Crime.
It's crime. It's also like one of them was talking about how they oppose The Voice. Another one was like, here's Drysdale.
Clinton Howe is the new CLP candidate. Let's look at the first preferences.
Yeah, I think I ran into. I got a photo with Clinton.
Is that Clinton Howe is just under 60%. This is Palmerston City. This is 2 of the polling places on the day. Eva Lawler on 29%. The change in vote there.
Riley Davis asked, when was the last time an incumbent premier / chief minister lost their seat in an election?
Adam Giles, NT, 2016.
As well as the government losing office.
And before that, Campbell Newman, Queensland, 2015. So literally, this is almost a repeat of the CLP losing in 2016. It's sort of like landslide defeat and leader loses their seat.
Labor is still going to hang on to a couple of seats, like 4 or 5 seats. It's like
is mirroring results all across the territory, and certainly all across Greater Darwin.
Disastrous for what will be the former Chief Minister Eva Lawler. What happened there for her?
I think I said that.
It just looks like the CLP are going to have massive margins in a bunch of what was marginal seats.
Yeah, but again, they can swing so much.
Has played into that as well, but I don't think that.
Are you guys going to do a stream for Queensland October?
Yeah, we should do.
Do a stream?
We should do. Probably, yeah. That's probably the biggest election of the year, in my opinion.
And then there's also the ACT. What are you going to do for that election? Because that's where you live. So
yeah. I'll try. If the vlog if the vlog turns out really well, I'll do a vlog for the ACT election, and then I might even possibly fly to Brisbane and do a vlog for the Queensland election, but that one's a little bit more chaotic. Because driving around Darwin's really easy because there's very few people here, but driving around Brisbane could be nightmarish.
The question is though, Sormon, will you be campaigning for the ACT election in your mystery party?
No, I will not be campaigning due to my position.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. What's Sormon's predictions for New South Wales state election?
Too far away.
Yeah.
That's all like 27.
Yeah.
Next year is Western Australia. That's.
Are you ruling yourself out of having a second?
Speaking of campaigning,
breaking news: Files just declared she's not running for leadership.
Oh, okay.
So Files will not seek to regain the leadership.
Even though is she gonna keep her seat? What's her seat?
Maybe she's currently she's sort of neck and neck with the Greens at the moment, but just slightly behind.
Oh, is she Nightcliff?
Yeah. I thought that's why you wanted. That's why I thought you asked about Nightcliff because that's Files' seat.
No, I just see it's like the safest Labor seat, and I thought that could be a chance for a Greens pickup. That's why I was asking.
And to make sure that signs.
Yeah. By the way, as I was saying, speaking of campaigning, if you guys see a party on the New South Wales Upper House ticket called Abolish Toll Roads, vote for them. They'll be a good party.
Oh, do you hear that former Foreign Affairs Minister Alexander Downer said Adelaide needs toll roads? Yeah, that was the response he got pretty much from across all of Twitter.
That is the worst take I've ever heard in my life.
Disciplined with his army discipline.
Here's a big question for you, Sormon. Why isn't the Northern Territory a state?
Too few people.
It's incredible that is there, and
I don't think that's a good enough answer.
If it was but the problem is, if it was a state, right, it would be a state with 2 lower house members and 12 senators.
How do you think
That's 6 times as many senators as lower house members. Which is ridiculous power to have in the Senate. In contrast, South Australia has about the same number of senators as lower house members, and Northern Territory, New South Wales is like 32 or 35 or so members for 12 senators. So you can see like an NT senator would be such a desirable position.
But I mean, there's nothing in the Constitution that states that that extra states have to get the same amount of senators as every other state. I know that for a fact.
I'd support
it's
the
only the original.
Yeah,
it's only the original 6 states.
Yeah, I'd support the NT getting statehood for the sake of referendums.
I mean, she was down in a party.
You could justify like the ACT and the NT becoming a state, but then that would be a horrible state because it'd be separate by.
Yeah. There's also talk about
reunited with South Australia. Yeah.
Yeah. There's talk about NT and South Australia merging.
Nah, what I'd actually probably think of is merging NT with Far North Queensland. So instead of having like North Australia sort of being like the NT and like all of Queensland above Rockhampton or something. I am probably pissing off members in my community right now with that proposal.
Vikash Patel says Senate should have proportional seats to population. Well, you would need a constitutional amendment. You need 4 states to agree to that.
Patel, I agree with you on that. It will never get passed.
Yeah. There's currently 3 states which would be very unhappy with that happening, and you need 4 states to pass it, so that's not going to happen.
For example.
By the way, you know how the results were coming in fast enough? It's only been 2 hours since we started, and we already know the results.
And so many people in prison.
Well, only because there's such a big swing. That's the only reason we know.
But I mean, power is another.
Have you heard of the Territory Central Australia?
1.2 billion.
What is that just Alice Springs as a state? Take every issue with.
I think that used to be a thing or something. Like there used to be Central Australia or something.
The problem is that the gas field has failed. It's delivering.
C. Hari says, I reckon the LNP will take Queensland back at this election. To be honest, despite the good work Miles has been doing. Yeah, that's what the point.
I agree with that.
And we've got Yi Goyula standing.
Is my microphone mucking up a bit again?
No, it's good at the moment.
How's that looking?
Oh, okay.
There's only
Now you said it's going to get bad now.
Candidate here, At the moment, it looks like the CLP are ahead of Mr. Goyula, but
And Wilso Production says, "Oh, is that? Oh, this is the independent guy. Isn't
This is the guy that speaks English as his third language. So I wonder if they'll
do better. Now, on our estimate, there's actually an 18% swing to Mr. Goyula.
That one's pretty 50-50, it looks like, at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not entirely convinced the CLP's winning Malka.
He will go on to win that seat.
Thanks,
I don't think they're going to win it.
I think he just predicted that the swing's not big enough.
To you, how are you feeling tonight? What are your chances there in the seat you've held for a while now?
Justine Davis will win now, says Jared Walsh.
They're gonna subtitle this?
Yes, I'm feeling really,
okay.
really glad that I am here running at this election to stand and fight, because now I know exactly what I need to talk about and issues and who the people are. The government.
I always find this guy fascinating. Like he's like an actual general Aboriginal elder who lives in an Aboriginal community. So it's really like it's almost as authentic as you can get.
Talk issues about
It's also an issue electric Malka sort of made it almost entirely of Aboriginal communities. It's not got like like large farmlands or towns like other electorates in the countryside.
any obstacles that will come to me.
Yeah, it's Thomas Morgan here. It looks like there'll be a...
It looks like Natasha Files has pulled ahead in Nightcliff, at least according to the ABC website.
What you think of that party's policies?
But the Greens could still win off preferences. I don't know.
Yeah, I've generally found with the Greens that they seem to peak early and then die off throughout the night.
Do in that seat over the next 4 years?
Sanderson's really close.
Yeah.
Port Darwin, that's going to be a CLP win.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nelson, that's going to be a CLP win. Namajara is going to be a CLP win. Mulca is very close. Catherine is going to be a CLP win. Karam is going to be a CLP win. Johnson, probably an independent win. Guadja, Labour will win that. Goida, CLP will win that. Fong Lim, CLP will win that. Fanny Bay,
Greens,
the Greens. Casuarina is pretty close, it looks like.
Yeah.
Brennan, CLP. Breitling, CLP. Arnhem, Labour. Arulan, Independent. Oh, Independent, yep. And Arafura.
It actually looks
Labour.
like Labour's not doing well at any sort of like. Most of their members might be from outside of Darwin.
Yeah. That's yeah. I mean, they could. Well, that's the thing. Like,
experiencing a crushing loss to
what's her name from Nightcliff has ruled herself out of being in what's it called in being leader, but she might be the only Darwin member who keeps their seat at the Labour Party.
In the last 8 years, I have experienced sit down. When I first stepped into the parliament, it was the government.
Sanderson could be Kate Warden barely wins her seat there.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's. I guess that's probably who's going to probably be the next leader. I'd say if she keeps her seat.
Who is this guy? Who is this man? And what does he
CLP is over 14, says Jared Walsh. Well, that's
they've got the majority of seats now. But it looks like Labour's holding like at least they're not being pushed down to like the 2 seats that they got pushed down to in that the CLP got pushed down to in 2016.
I'm just going to count how many, like, what's the maximum amount of seats Labour will win. So 1, 2.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll leave it there.
While you're counting, Anthony Green's got to probably announce a few more results.
4, 5. No, I'll say 4, 5. I think the Labour Party will maximum win 6 seats. Probably. Oh, sorry, 7. Maximum 7. Sorry, but probably like 4 or 5.
Okay.
Something says I was not expecting the Indian Arulan to have that much of a swing to her. Me neither.
Yeah, no, I was expecting the CLP to win that. Like, out of all the seats, it's funny. It's like the big one is all the North Darwin. I was not expecting North Darwin to fall like this. Oops.
This is NT Votes. It's 8:15, and there is 18.
So okay, so we might get like 3 independents, 1 green. That's 4. Something like 6 Labour. That's 10. So we're gonna get like 15 CLP.
Marara Italian Club with the CLP are having their function tonight. Just under 50% of the vote for the CLP.
Jono 4422 says ALP is also gone in Queensland. They're toast. You're probably right.
And others on 17.7. The change in votes occurring. The Labor vote is down 13. The CLP up 18. The Greens up 2. Others up 6. The Territory Alliance, of course, not.
If anything, like federal Labor, there's a possibility that like the LNP might be getting like super like, oh, we're gonna win the federal election, but that's also what Labor probably was thinking both before 2016 and 2019. They won neither of those. So don't take too many federal implications from this.
We've got the CLP up to 14, so we've got the Country Liberal Party. We now have in a majority. The Labor Party's on 5 and others on 1. If we add a few seats, which are likely,
yeah, I think the biggest call for why Albo will leave the next federal election until as late as he can is probably because he wants to see the LNP dip a bit from their honeymoon period in Queensland before he goes to the polls.
The problem is they'll only have a 5-month honeymoon period, which really isn't really much time to get super unpopular.
That's true, yeah.
Dunn will probably campaign a lot with David Cast, for what his name is, a lot, probably.
It's also slowing down because I think we've got all the polling places and we're just waiting for the early voting centres.
Miles will definitely stay on. So C. Hari thinks that Miles will stay on as leader.
Miles or Files?
At this stage, we're saying the
Miles.
Okay.
In Queensland.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because, like, right, the former Labour Prime Minister, was it? I forgot his name. Is still the leader of the Labour Party. The guy who replaced Jacinta Allen.
I've got Johnson as the other seat in doubt. Now, I think I've got one electorate here to look at.
So we've got Blaine as a CLP.
Oh, he's doing Green's doing Nightcliff right now.
Oh, nice.
I thought Files was resigning. I'm a bit surprised he stayed on.
32%. The Greens are on 25. Melilla May is on 22%. Helen Secretary is in 4th there. Now, whether that flows through to the early voting centres or not, I'm not sure.
It was interesting to see if ALP got a lot of their votes in the early voting centres. That could be their one silver lining, but like I think I've said that multiple times in elections, it's never happened.
There's only one of the 4. There's only 18%.
The early voting centres are lined up similar to what the people in the day have said.
I'll have a quick look and see if I can see which polling place is in here. It's Nightcliff itself. I can't see how many votes.
So Green seems to like not want to say anything for Nightcliff because he doesn't know how the preference flows will go.
Files does not look happy right now.
Some remarkable results. I might just take control of the program entirely for the moment. I might.
Go ahead.
I'll bring up the map because I hadn't looked at Wanguri. Let's bring up.
Oh no, technical issues.
No, it's going to refuse to do it for me. Go home. Go map.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Oh no!
Why don't we come back to you, Anthony? We might get your reaction, Natasha,
to
those numbers.
Oh, no, technical issues.
Are they running it on Windows Vista?
You can't just count on them giving you those preferences. As a member, you always
Chris Hipkins.
First preference.
Yes,
have some more figures that
the New Zealand guy?
Yeah. He's the he was leader of the Labour Party and he still is after losing the election to Chris Luxon.
And I don't think the preference flow.
Do you ever watch that guy on YouTube called Paul Politic? He just shows up in my recommendations.
Let me look at him.
Telling me just to hold steady, but this is.
He really doesn't like Chris Hipkins. He thinks he's like a man baby or something.
As I said, if they're frustrated, they'll change that vote, and it can have an impact significantly.
Natasha, you were the Chief Minister and you were the one who actually came out at a press conference that announced that the government
is he like a
gas extraction in the Beetaloo Basin.
He's like a Kiwi political commentator guy.
So it's Paul Politic? Is that one name, one word?
It looks like you could be paying for that decision.
And it's, you know, we were just talking about the gas fields offshore. We know, one, that they're higher in emissions, and we know, you know, the servicing us.
Wait, I found a show called Paul Politics. He hasn't uploaded anything in like 11 years, so it must be a different channel. Paul Political?
As the world transitions to renewables, it is
no, that's also
we've put in place so many
Paul,
measures.
I don't know. It's like a really small channel that's popped up in my recommendations.
Yeah,
so
I can't find it.
To make sure that's okay.
I don't know why I'm name dropping just some random YouTube channel in the middle of the stream, but there you go. I guess, Mr. Politic.
He's got some more figures for us now from Wanguri.
Yes, we've got Wanguri. Nicole Manison's retiring Labor member, former Deputy Chief Minister.
All right.
I actually think it's quite extraordinary that the Labour Party are losing 60-40 on a two-party preferred, but they still have 5 seats.
Again, the Liberals are bringing up massive margins in their own seats.
We've got places in the Casuarina Early Voting Centre, and at this stage, this is a good sample. 41.
Vikash Patel says, "I'm thinking punter."
6, Slot Sharma's on 28. Graham Sawyer, the Independents, on 16. Now, I'm not sure.
I don't know what you mean by that, Mr. Patel.
Just look at this. 36% down for the Labor primary vote, 23% up for the CLP. Now, there'll be a significant personal vote there for Nicole Manison, but it's also reflective of what's going on in the northern suburbs of Darwin. Two-party preferred swing is 26%.
What's your internet like there in Darwin, by the way?
It was a bit dodgy in the morning, but it seems to be doing alright. I haven't had any issues currently. Hopefully the stream's going smoothly.
I think the stream is getting some lag. I think Anthony Green is kind of lagging a bit when he's talking about the results.
Oh, okay. Let me just check the stream quality. Oh wait, I think I found a problem.
Oh, Punter's Politics, that guy, yeah. He's left wing, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's left wing.
Right, I've shut down a few things that hopefully should speed up.
He got back, but so this is a big defeat for.
All right, it says I'm getting some streaming issues, so I've shut down some things.
Anthony. Barry, you mentioned earlier.
Oh, okay.
Shane Stone.
Something says Labour looks like it will get at least 5 seats on less than 42 party vote. Lol.
Strategy to get the outcome that you've seen.
Well, I'm not that close, to tell you the truth. I am not inside the team.
Are we going to see
campaign
2020 again? 14 CLP or more CLP seats? I think CLP will get about 15, 16.
Shed a lot of light on the campaign itself.
Yeah.
I can make observations and how I seen it, but I was not involved in the campaign.
I'm wondering if anything we should do with predictions.
It's the same kind of story. It's the same kind of story like everywhere across the country, really, where parties are winning, like,
perhaps are deciding
you know,
to leave
like,
the
quite
territory.
well
How
on the
much of
two-party
a factor
preferred, but it doesn't
is
necessarily
access
mean
to
they're
housing?
getting like a huge amount of seats.
Being able to
Yeah.
buy
Because
by the way, you're having mic issues
Is
again.
that a factor in this election?
Look,
Okay, alright, I
coming
will
from Brian
rejoin.
O'Gallagher in Karama, he said that there were a lot of people that would like.
I watched your video last night. What was your prediction again?
Because real estate has been flatlining now for some time as the economy.
So I remember watching your video last night, but I forgot what you actually said you thought the results were going to be. I think you were thinking a CLP minority government or something.
That's the only
No, okay, I thought it was going to be a hung parliament, but that's just judging off the most recent poll. But like, I really didn't give like an actual prediction because I knew that it was going to be.
I felt like you needed to get more of the vibes, like I did. Maybe you should have spent $800 chartering flying a plane up here.
Yeah.
Extraordinary loans to pay because they're not going to get the price to sell it.
Yeah, it's a real big issue. And what's happening?
Look, I'm actually kind of optimistic if the Greens get a result here. Like, I feel like they've been fighting so hard for a seat here. They kind of feel like they've earned it.
Lose elections.
Yeah, I think they've earned it too. And if they win Nightcliff, that will be a cherry on top as well.
I mean, the most northerly electorate in Australia for them.
We have to repay the confidence and faith that the electorate has.
I think the results are already clear, but unfortunately, I bet you that the leaders aren't going to do their speeches for ages. Actually, we've never stayed for the speeches, have we?
No, we've always tried to, and then we were like, no, we're going to end the stream.
Yeah, I'm thinking we'll go to 9 o'clock.
How much of that can you share?
So I'll probably go for another half an hour, which will sort of cap it out as a nice 3-hour speech. 3-hour live stream. If they're about to do the speech, maybe we'll stay on. If not, probably not. I won't be surprised if Eva Lawler does her concession speech in the next half hour. Half an hour.
Yeah. I mean, she's got to have to. They've lost. It's over. Yeah. Eva Lawler did not win last year. I don't know what that means.
To be done in the Northern Territory.
Well, she was not the member last year, yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I also heard that apparently the seat Drysdale actually got picked up a massive CLP area in a redistribution, which kind of already put her underwater.
The Right Honourable Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg says Chris Hipkins. What? Another Chris Hipkins enthusiast, maybe? So,
I don't know what you're talking about. We're just mentioning the
Yeah, there's been a fair bit of...
Also, by the way, if you've got any poll ideas you want to throw up, let me know.
Massive injection of the
okay, who will win Nightcliff, Greens or Labour? Do that one.
I'll just do... I'll do the same thing I did last time.
The Stuart Highway. Have you been?
Will the Greens win Nightcliff? Yeah.
Yeah, I have actually. I went from Catherine to Darwin with my family, and it felt like a death trap.
The ruts in the road, and
it's not safe at all. And why is it that in a wealthy place like the Northern Territory, that roads that southern states take for granted, we can't have with all of our endless resources? What is going on?
Well,
I don't actually think they're going to win Nightcliff, but I'm just going to vote yes, just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Because I hope they do, because it'd be funny.
It'd be funny if Files like rules herself out of leadership contention and kind of is left as like the only senior Labour member in. Like she might be forced to take leadership up reluctantly.
Breaking even, but more people go to Mataranka Hot Springs now than Kakadu. So you know, I'm not.
So many Kiwis moving to Aussie.
I think there's the pillars, the 4 pillars.
But I thought Luxon was really good.
Right across the board.
Natasha, you want to come in here?
Oh, I think, and you know, I'm always an optimist.
What's the inflation rate at the moment in New Zealand? I'm going to look this up.
And to rebuild, and that will take time. But, you know, I think that, you know, for the incoming government, there is some positive, you know, we are expected the economy to grow.
It's currently at 4%, it looks like.
That final investment
yes, and what's the target? Is it 3% or is it
2 to 3% is the target, so they're still in the same sort of situation as Australia.
Someone is in front. Anthony Green just jumped in front of the camera.
Lol. So we can then get, you know, that money into our.
Did you get the map working finally?
On money, the Northern Territory gets its share of the GST pool, and that the money that the Northern Territory gets is untied. So.
I don't know why. I think he was mentioning Chris Hipkins because we were talking about a leader staying on after losing the election because we're talking about Stephen Miles.
Yeah. To be honest, I think Miles will resign. I don't really see why he would want to stay on.
Both sides, election commitments that were very.
I'm not going to say much about New Zealand.
Lawler's just rocked up at the party HQ, so she's about to announce.
Before we get to her, I just want to say I don't know much about New Zealand politics, but I know Labour really stuffed up.
Hey, we've actually made it to a speech finally in one of these videos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult, and
it's just so much nicer than the Tas election where we like had no idea where the results were going.
And then we had, you know, a really amazing time where we were able to.
Like as much as like the hair clerk system's so much better, like it's just so much quicker. If this first past the post, it would be even faster again.
True, yeah.
That's why like Canadian elections come out so quickly.
Feeling this and feeling it, not so much for herself,
oh dear.
but for the volunteers.
Oh, but actually the UK election was quite fun to watch. Partly because they count throughout the entire night, they never stop counting. But like their night time was the middle of the day for me, so I was just able to look at the results coming in over work. Whereas the UK people had to stay up like all night for the results. It's hilarious.
And last UK election, there was like several times where just multiple high-profile people were losing their seats within like 5 minutes of each other.
Yeah, the craziest one was Liz Truss. I was so surprised when she lost her seat, like in the wee hours of the morning.
And she just refused to give a speech too. She's like, nope.
You know, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you to them, and you know, we'll look out for each other over the coming days.
Yeah, so look,
what do you think a speech is going to be like? Probably just a pretty classic one, isn't it?
There at the Labour headquarters.
And I don't think she's going to stay on as leader.
No, she won't. Well, she can't. She can't. She's lost her seat.
Oh, and she has. Yeah, you're right. Whoops.
The Larrakia people on which mic? This one. I'll start by acknowledging the Larrakia people on whose land we meet today, and the beautiful land that we all love, Larrakia. It has been an absolute privilege to be Chief Minister of the Northern Territory It's also been an absolute privilege to be the member for Drysdale, probably the best seat in the whole of the Northern Territory, a seat that I'm being very proud
Has a
to
nice
be
shopping
the
centre.
member. It has also been a privilege to be a minister in the Northern Territory government for 8 years, and I'm proud.
Yeah, she won the seat off the CLP when they formed government, so she's only ever been in an ALP in government. She's never been in opposition, and she will never, and she won't be. She's lost her seat.
ABC called Nightcliff for Labor, apparently.
Oh, they have?
Sad. Yeah, you can end the poll now.
Oh, okay.
I've lost my seat, and I know some of our great candidates and great members have.
This actually might be the first time in modern history that a Labor member has lost their seat in an election. Like normally, the last 3 cases I think were all Liberals. Adam Giles, Campbell Newman, and John Howard were all Liberals, all on the right side of politics. It's the first time it's happened to a Labor member in recent history. And in fact, it might be the first time.
What quality do you have the stream on, Sormon?
I might turn it down. I'll turn it
put it down.
Yeah, sorry. Apologies, everyone.
That's okay.
Since 2001, that have been committed to Labor, and I know will continue to be
my mouse is being weird.
to Labor.
Okay.
To all of you who are here, I love you. The Labor family, the family that I'm very, very proud to have led.
How many kilobytes per second?
I can't seem to change the stream latency unless there's like.
I know.
It's not the latency that's the problem; it's the quality.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to.
I'm the person that's the least political in the Labor Party, but
on video, it should say like a kilobytes per second or something.
To my 2 beautiful
yeah.
children, Lindsay and Kirby, you could not have 2 more beautiful children and amazing Territorians. So Lindsay and Kirby, thank you very much for just always.
Oh wait, you're right. I'm not sure I can edit the stream settings while live streaming.
You can if it's on the kilobytes per second. You can.
Yeah.
I think you all know my story. There was a nice article.
I'm turning it down to 3,000 bit. 3,000.
Yeah, that'd be better. 3,000 be better. Yeah.
All right. See if that works.
I know he's watching down, and I know every single day he's always.
All right, that should make it better.
In all the roles that I have. But to all my family and to the people.
Jacob Rees-Mogg says, honestly, Miles' chances have improved dramatically over the last few months, and you can feel it.
Oh, okay. Are you a local? Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg?
I think she's got about 70 complaints that she's following.
I'm wondering same thing.
The polling today, but also to our President Anthony Venus. Thank you very much for the hard work that you've put into the campaign.
Well, this is like I say, this is a really reasonably easy election to cover, wasn't it? Aussies elect.
Yeah, I mean it's not really that complicated, is it? Northern Territory election.
Big swing. Everything's pretty clear what's happening. The big thing is like, can the Greens?
It's still pretty interesting. You got these seats that could be won by Greens and Independents and stuff. So it's still interesting. Yeah.
Greens are still first place in Fanny Bay, and you had to feel like the Independent and majority of Labor votes will go their way.
Right, I'm actually looking at the poll bludgers thing now. See what he thinks.
I know Leah talked about.
Yeah, he has given Nightcliff to Labor.
Tell everybody in this room, and you could not get a more united cabinet. You could not get a more united caucus. We actually want to be in the same room as each other. We enjoy each other's company. We absolutely love it.
Actually, his system's wacky. It's saying Fanny Bay is CLP ahead. I don't think that's right. So maybe his system isn't including two-party preferred.
Or maybe it's assuming Labor votes for CLP or something weird like that.
Selena Ubo, Tanari.
His system also has the ALP ahead in Daly, which is surprising to me.
What's actually happening in Daly at the moment? Oh, Labor retained Daly. Oh, Fanny Bay, they've got Green ahead finally. They fixed their system.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see, actually, have they interviewed the candidate for Fanny Bay? I don't think I've seen her on camera yet. Maybe, I don't think they expected it, actually. They're probably having to rush a camera crew to wherever I don't know if the Greens were even expecting to have a party. The Fanny Bay member could be at home. They have to go find her address and like knock on her door. And then, you know, like, are you a YouTuber? Sorry. Did you ever see that skit?
No, I don't know what skit you're talking about.
The one where there's a British guy in Japan called Chris Abroad, and he got interviewed by a Japanese news crew one time, and they like knock on his door, and he's like opens the door, they're like, "Are you a YouTuber?" And he's like, "I am." Just sort of became a bit of a meme video. Are you candidate for Fannie Mae?
Jacob Rees-Mogg says the 50-cent public transport fares alone has made Miles' chances of re-election so much greater, it's hard to understate. He says, the fact he's taken us from what looks like a 2012 style defeat to Campbell Newman to there even being a small chance he'll retain, at least in minority. And yes, I am a local and an ALP member, and don't make it make you think that he's biased.
Okay. Yeah, well, like, none of the people I talked to here were ALP biased, so like, I can't tell you if I thought there was any sort of remote optimism, but like, the Labour candidate for Fong Lim, who looks like he's lost in spectacular fashion, looked very confident when I talked to him. He felt very much like he knew everyone, and like, I wouldn't say he was confident winning, but he definitely felt like he knew people, and people knew him, and they're like, oh, I'm a trusted face around the community, so it kind of sucks if he hasn't won.
Jacob Rees-Mogg says, I honestly hated Miles before he took over, but he's really impressed me since, and feedback from family and just the vibe in general is absolutely supporting that. Interesting.
Yeah, I think we're still like right in the middle of peak right-wing parties at the moment, but I'm interested to see if their popularity is dropping down in Australia.
But once again, I'm going to give out the results of the most recent opinion poll in Queensland, which was last month. Labor 26%, LNP 43%, Greens 14%, One Nation 13%, Cat Australia Party 1%, two-party preferred 57 to 43 in Queensland to the LNP. So, if things are improving for Mr. Miles, we haven't seen it yet in the polling.
Yeah. And like, unlike America, I don't find like we have big polls. The only shit the polls were off here is because they didn't take. They really need to make more polls here, but I guess they cost too much money.
Look T says the coalition are back, and I know who you. Oh, by the way, I know who you are, Look T. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, I know. I think Look T was a patron of mine for a while. Might still be. Actually.
He's a patron. It was in a server that I'm in, and he left recently. His name was Malcolm Turnbull on the server.
Oh, a few people like to run with Prime Ministers, don't they? I feel a bit sorry for Eva Law. She's going to be a real forgotten face of NT politics. To be honest, I feel like Adam Giles is remembered because he was the first Aboriginal leader. But like Michael Gunner maybe will be remembered. Like he was at least minister for like 6 years. But then you had Files for like 1 year and then Lawler for another. Like both of them are going to be kind of forgotten figures, unfortunately. No help from also being from the NT.
Thank you very much.
What's funny is she wasn't actually wearing that outfit when I met her at in Palmerston today. She was wearing a red dress. Obviously, standing up, being the Labour candidate. This has obviously changed into this for the party at night.
Adkins says Miles honestly has no chance in Queensland.
When you have a change of government, but I wish them all the best. And I'm going to have one last
Look T says, I know, but they're back generally. It's their first state territory gain since SA 2018. True.
Yeah, we pointed that out earlier.
Yep.
Scott and his crew have been dragged around the Northern Territory by me, but Scott, you have been a wonderful person to have in our company. So thank you very much, Scott. But tonight is a tough night for Labor, a truly tough night for Labor. It wasn't the result that we wanted to see, we know that. But I think some of those...
it does kind of suck that like the previous Labor government in the NT got like 3 terms in office and this one only got 2. It's just a rough time for incumbents. They didn't really have much of a chance.
Jacob Rees-Mogg says internals are supposedly showing 48 to 52 since the 50-cent fares and the 1,300 power rebate. plus 200 rego rebates started to have really improved it. 50-cent fares only started 2 weeks ago.
It's crazy to think the Country Liberal Party almost got half of all votes. That's the part I think I find crazy.
That's some
and the fact that they didn't win a ruling. That's the other part. They didn't win a ruling.
Independent, I guess, is really popular. I guess.
Karama, where I'm at, still hasn't really moved since the original 16% was counted. Everyone must have voted really early.
Incredible Bulk says, "Yeah, I'm moving to Queensland. It does not seem like Labor will do well." I guess. Incredible Bulk, I guess you're not a fan of Labor.
Do you think we're gonna get into a US-style red state, blue states in the future, where like, because I know one problem the US has is people actually move for political reasons. That's why Florida's so red.
Right.
Like, do you think like Liberal voters being like, "Oh, I hate Labor winning in Victoria all the time. I'm moving to Queensland." It's gonna like cause.
I think that's already happened. I think that's already a thing. I think conservative people are moving to Queensland away from Victoria.
Well, like, part of it's also just because old people retired to Queensland. Like, I was talking to some of the older people at my work, and a lot of them said they're interested in retiring to Queensland.
Yex says, "I think it should be free because there's still a multi-million-dollar system in place." Again, I think the reason that they don't do it free is so that like riffraff doesn't ride the public transport all day and just use it as a place to squat, basically. Excuse me. Something says lots of Victorians left Melbourne to far north Queensland over COVID.
Yeah, they also moved left to the regions, which has led to a bit of a slight surge in some of the small regional towns like Ballarat.
Incredible Bulk says, I am from Wellington, New Zealand. I am moving because Australia has better salary and better weather, and no, I'm not a fan of Labor.
You know what's interesting, actually? People were asking about whether mine and your prediction video from a few months ago has changed. What's really changed is my video on the decline of the Liberal Party. I'm not sure you've watched that. It was one of my most popular videos I did on the decline of the Liberal Party. I think that video is really coming out of date soon. I think, if anything, this video result is showing is there is a chance that the Liberal Party is back in play, and I think the polls have showed that with the narrowing up. Also, I think the video I did was before The Voice.
I really do think that it's only because of this cost of living bullcrap. I think that's the only thing that's causing it. Like, if it wasn't for that, like, Labor Party would be doing fine, perfectly fine.
Also, remind me wrong, but the one thing interview I'm really interested to see is I don't think we've seen the Greens candidate Fanny Bacon interviewed yet, which kind of sucks because like that's probably the one I'm most interested in. Like obviously CLP winning big, but the Greens is one I'm like, wow, the Greens have finally got an inroad.
Yex says, "I live in Cairns and there are a lot of people from New South Wales and Brisbane. Are they mostly old people or are they younger?"
Another term to lead
Excuse me.
Territorians. But thank you also for the 8 years that we have been in government. It truly is an honour to lead the Northern Territory. I do believe that we leave the Northern Territory in a much better position.
Old Tax says, "Do you think people will go back to the two big parties in the future?" I think people will go back to the coalition, but I don't think people will go back to Labor. That's my guess.
Well, the problem is the Greens are just too cemented now that the Labor just can't get their Greens votes back. But just in contrast today, I know the Territorial Alliance isn't running in this election, but if we go, the two major parties have gone up in this election in the NT. Like, so other parties have gone up by 5.9, and the two parties, so no, other parties have dropped. I can't do the maths, but it's been like a 5% swing towards major parties today, mostly to obviously all to the CLP, but yeah.
Yex says they're mostly old people. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Disheartened but stoic, Eva Lawler there addressing her supporters at the Waratahs Club.
Yeah, Queensland is just gonna stay like where only like Labor can get like 7 seats. It's gonna stay like that for a long time.
Fought for this election. She's thanked her party and her supporters for their hard work, describing tonight's outcome as a tough night for the party. Eva Lawler also paid tribute to her late husband, Tom Lawler, who inspired her foray into politics, and says that she is...
I didn't realise she was a widow.
...crediting funding for education as one of her highlights. Also improvements...
Or she actually might be a divorcee, I don't know.
No, I think she's a widow.
No, she would
She mentioned that her husband died of like cancer or something.
Oh yeah. Also, you wouldn't refer to your husband getting into politics if you were divorcee.
Jared Walsh says for Labor now. Oh my God.
A little bit more from Eva Lawler and
They've
the
dropped
Labor
one.
Party, saying it's really a truly difficult night for the Labor Party, with Eva Lawler losing her seat of Drysdale. Also paying
Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg says, Sormon, I think your Liberal Party decline video.
Got to go back now.
Even though they are at least relatively seem to not be doing horribly, the structural problems are still there, as we saw from the Legislative Council thing.
Yeah, I did mention in that video that if the CLP won here, it wouldn't necessarily be much.
Not the Legislative Council, the council elections. I'm sorry, I'm going to continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To be the Chief Minister of Northern Territory.
I think it's an absolute honour.
What were you going to say?
It truly is an honour to lead the Northern Territory. Every day that I
Someone?
drive into
Yep.
work, I would pinch myself and say,
What were you going to say?
this is an absolute
Oh,
honour.
no, I don't think I was saying anything. I was just listening to what Eva Lawler was saying.
Oh, right. C. Hari says, I think Brisbane can be quite progressive and some of the SEC area. It's just obvious that the fact that Queensland is much more SEC and the rural vote is incredibly important.
Sorry, we're having a lot of trouble reading that.
What do you mean by SEC area? Do you mean like the regional area?
Oh, Labor's gone down to 4. They've actually dropped. They were sort of peaking at around 6 or 7, and they've gone backwards.
So spending some more time with my grandchildren, catching up with friends, all of those sorts of things.
So it's a rule of just.
Oh, Southeast Queensland. Okay, yeah, I should have realised that's what you meant. Yeah, it is weird how Queensland is like a mix of like really progressive down in Southeast Queensland and then like really conservative up north in the regions.
I'm the least political person in politics, so I'll look to something else at some stage, but at the moment it is about just taking a break. And
Jacob Rees-Mogg says, yeah, apart from 2022, Labor has won at least 80% of seats in Brisbane every single time they form majority government.
So that was Eva Lawler there at the ALP headquarters.
And currently, I think Labor holds all but like 4 or 6 of the 40-something seats in Brisbane alone.
She said that she's heard the message.
There's a question also if Labor will lose Blair in the next federal election. I don't think they will, but that is one that I have to worry about.
They want to see things done differently, and the CLP have made a number of strong commitments.
How is Nightcliff doing?
ALP ahead.
Constructive way, as you heard
I think Natasha Files will stay on.
The community are going to expect
Have a
that
look at
change.
the.
So,
Yeah, like Labor hasn't fallen behind the Greens, so their preferences will probably all go to Labor and get Labor easily across the line.
To own and for us to look after each other.
That's if you assume that the Independent will preference like Labor over the Greens, or the Country Liberal will preference Labor over the Greens as well.
Also, any Labor supporters or lefties watching this feeling a bit depressed, I can easily see the Labor bouncing back massively at the next election. I'm not sure they'll win government, but I could easily see them winning like 10, like anywhere from like 7 to 10 seats at the next election. So don't think Labor's going to be in the wilderness for ages. I don't think so.
Tonight is about the CLP, and I truly congratulate them.
Look, T says Labor will hold 5 or 30 seats in Queensland. Their vote is incredibly inefficient federally. I don't think Labor are going to lose Blair though, or like Lily or something. I think
like Eva Lawler is being smashed in Drysdale.
59% for Clinton Howe, 29%.
Yeah, I talked to that independent candidate there, Cindy. She was a bit intense.
Massive change there. in the two-party preferred swing.
I didn't end up getting a photo with her, even though I got a photo with both other candidates.
Diminish that, but it's still a massive swing. Eva Lawler, Natasha Fowle.
I think I saw her on like ABC News. She was like hanging outside of a car, like trying to get people to vote for us.
Yeah, she seemed very intense. Like, I was just asking her like say, oh, how are you? And she's like, you know, these basic people, they have no care for us, and they'll sell us out, yada yada. I was like, oh, jeez.
Sorry, I wanted to spill it with Leah Finocchiaro. She will be the first CLP chief minister who was born in.
Incredible bulk says, well, the by-elections weren't in
Did he just say?
pretty big.
I think he means I think she just said that Leah Finocchiaro is going to be the first CLP minister born in the NT.
That's her seat. Let's look at the result in this election.
That's weird. Well, they all born not in the NT usually.
Yeah, they've moved to the NT later in life.
And the swing in the electorate, this is has been the safest CLPC for a while, 17% swing, and Leah Finocchiaro is...
Awesome Wav says, used to vote Labor, but now I just abuse the preferential system, vote for independents, which will probably flow to Labor anyway.
Well, it depends on how you vote.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, you have to number the Labor Party ahead of the Liberal Party.
Darwin. Barry, what will be the first priority for Leah Finocchiaro?
Jacob Reesbog says, ah ha 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 ha. LMAO, brah, it's the Northern Territory. I ain't losing sleep over Labor losing government there, Sormon. Don't worry about yours truly.
Tom Morgan, what do you think will be the first priority for the CLP government?
That's something a person that's totally not losing it says.
With the mother of Declan Laverty, that same old shop worker, that really was, I think, a
Jared Walsh says the lab needs to win 6 to get there. 74 votes.
Said on week 1 of Parliament she would unveil Declan's law, or pass Declan's law through Parliament.
By the way, we've got about 7 minutes. If we don't see Leah Finocchiaro moving up to the podium to speak, we'll probably just end the stream just then, and we'll watch it in our own time afterwards. So I hope, as we get close to the end, I hope you guys have enjoyed tonight. It was obviously it's a very small election in the NT, but pretty definitive results, I'd say. Wouldn't you agree?
Because it has been a really rough.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the CLP have taken government. They got like a two-party preferred of like 60-40, which is pretty big. Yeah, absolute big win. Didn't really expect this kind of win, but polling is always pretty sparse with this kind of thing.
Surprised they haven't called a ruling yet, I guess, because it's only too much counted.
Old Tax says, as a moderate coalition supporter, I pray that this does not help Dutton. I would accept a Labor win federally in 2025 just to see Dutton get kicked out. Interesting.
And how has that...
Incredible Bulk goes, so do you think WA will go not Labor or not?
Labor's just so big in WA. The only thing I don't even think that sheep thing's going to cause like that. I know the live export ban of sheep's got a lot of people angry, but I don't know, Labor's just so big in WA. You think they're at least guaranteed... Oh, the cameras are at the... I think we might actually get a chance to watch Leah's speech.
Taken a lot of long-term Darwin residents by... surprised by shock that you talk to people who have lived here their entire lives and they do tell you it's got. So
yeah, we might actually have for the speech, but yeah, so I think Labor's too strong in WA to lose, but I could be wrong.
The CLP want to use this resounding mandate that they've received tonight, and lead for not just the next 4 years, but the next 8, 12. They're going to have to start looking at those issues, and obviously they're going to look at the short term.
AA reasons. I think there is being forced to retire for AA reasons. What do you mean by that? Alcoholics Anonymous reasons?
A bit about the long term as well, about the underlying causes. She's talked about diversion for people who do get charged with criminal offences. There is that acknowledgement that there does need to be work. Long-term hard work to turn those.
Do you think the results here were part of Labor's own making? Like Labor just did an incompetent job running the territory, or do you think they've been faced with sort of events outside of their control?
I think the whole rental crisis and the cost of living crisis have caused this, and I think that is out of their control. Yes.
Yeah.
Enough to really listen to those concerns, because the homicide rate and the injury rate.
It will be interesting to see if
is catastrophic.
if like how much Labour will bounce back in the next election. But I guess this will depend on how the environment is, which will probably be a lot nicer. I think the CLP's got lucky here because I think when they come to the next election, it'll be several years past COVID. All the economic things will be recovered, and I think the CLP will possibly have a good chance to win a nice, comfortable majority again. I would be surprised the CLP is set for at least 8 years, pending they don't get into a corruption scandal and implode like they did in 2016.
When you say affirmative action, Jacob Rees-Mogg, I assume you're talking about there's only one federal MP and one senator in Queensland who are women, and they're going to make him retire so they have a woman candidate. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Potentially blame us if things, but like.
Which that sounds pretty stupid. If they make him retire because of that.
So just listen to the.
Spook 101 asked predictions for Queensland election.
I'm still thinking LNP majority probably at this rate.
Me too.
I'm thinking landslide win, but I don't think it'll be 2012.
In our remote regions is so low.
Vikash Patel says, Green voter, ALP member, but I kind of like Turnbull, Dunn's an old racist.
Have no faith in politics?
Yeah, I can, and it was something, I really tried to engage.
I don't think you like it when you call people racist, do you, Sormon? When people call people racist?
Mainly, like, the issue is, like, what is a racist? Like what makes a person racist?
In general is something that
what Dutton was saying about Palestinian refugees the other day was
what he said was racist. I don't know what makes someone a racist. Like how many times do you have to say racist stuff to be racist?
Acutely in remote regions, what does it say for
like how often do you have to do it? Like I guess that's the problem I have with the term. It's like technically we're all racist because we've all said something racist once or twice.
But look, I've been doing.
Jacob Rees-Mogg says, since rules require 50% of held or winnable seats to be contested by women, and yes, I agree, it needs to be modified to prevent forced retirements like this. Yeah, sounds very dumb.
But I think it was something like 46.
And I think Yex is going, so goodbye, Yex.
Oh, okay. See ya. Hope you enjoy the stream. It's maybe 9 o'clock. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're about to start the speech. Like, do we stay on for the speech?
And they've had enough,
Yeah, I mean, give it like another 5 minutes.
All right.
And I think there's a big rejection in the Bush vote.
Luke T says the WA Libs would need a 24% uniform statewide swing to regain state government next year. I'm expecting about a 10 to 15% swing, but that's not enough. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I guess the thing is though is WA has historically been a liberal state, so I could sort of see. How about this?
On the vote count in remote seats around
here we go.
And Tom.
Yeah, let's go first to the seat of Arafat.
Oh, is Anthony Green gone to
Brown is facing off against Yana Thompson.
Oh, Anthony Green's gone to bed. Okay.
Been concentrating on where the change is occurring. And
Anthony Green's gone to bed?
Oh no, he's here. Sorry, someone else was.
What the hell?
Anthony Green. No. Like what's his name? The other guy was doing the count. That was doing the Anthony Green's job, and Anthony Green wasn't there. And then suddenly Anthony Green's there again.
You get differences from mobile to mobile, often based on the language group.
That's how I jokingly said he's going to bed because he wasn't doing the screen anymore. But then now he is. So I was wrong.
Now to Arnhem, where
the hell, Arafura? What the hell is what is going on there?
Oh,
that's so bizarre.
What, the Labour's ahead?
Yeah, like I think it's still like a 7% swing since the by-election. It's weird.
Yeah.
And ran Labor a serious close, but back as a CLP candidate, the Labor Party is
reasserted. Is he doing a call of the board now? Is that what he's doing?
The CLP, and that's based on
because he's going over every seat. It looks like.
No, he's going over remote Indigenous community seats.
Okay.
So these are seats with large Indigenous populations, and it looks like there's a little bit of a concern that Labor might be the party for Aboriginal Australians going into the next assembly, which is a little concerning, just because Labor will be very heavily incentivised to be very pro-Indigenous, hopefully not to the detriment of everyone else.
She's got ahead of Labor, but Jo Hersey was elected last time, and she's substantially increased the vote.
Booth101 says, I hope Anthony Albanese will be able to resign on his own accord and not be kicked out of his party or voted out. It would be the first time that would happen since 1966.
Yes, with Robert Menzies. Well, unless you consider Harold Holt. Is that a Harold Holt drowning? Is that really going on your own accord? Was that 67? No, that was 67, sorry. No, that was Robert Menzies resigning.
Is next, where the Deputy Chief Minister, or outgoing Deputy Chief Minister, Chancey Paik, is facing up against the CLP.
Jacob Rees-Mogg says, Anthony Green was just out for a smoke break and good on him for it. I don't think Anthony Green smokes. I get the idea he doesn't smoke.
And they haven't come in yet. They will likely increase Chancey Paik's majority there. He's currently on 61%. If you look at the two-party preferred...
Vikash Patel says we definitely need face-to-face interviews for Palestinians. That's not racist, of course.
No one was saying anything was wrong with having the Palestinians interviews. Dutton was just saying, I don't want them, even if they do, without ignoring the screenings. He was just flat out calling them all terrorists without any evidence, which is disgusting.
CLP's victory was they won nothing in the northern suburbs. They retained Sanderson, but they didn't win any more seats in the northern suburbs, which meant their majority was built on holding Palmerston, Alice, Catherine, and then Port Darwin, and then a string...
Sad fact, Anthony Green is retiring in 2027 after the New South Wales election. Where'd you get that information? I didn't know that.
Yeah, me too.
This time they're not going to have
Sorry?
a problem.
I never heard about that. Let me check that.
They have one Catherine. They are a government of the urban area.
That's what Look T is saying. I don't know if it's true or not.
Oh, it's something it's from Reddit.
Natasha Files.
Oh, yeah, you always got to believe whatever Reddit says.
Labour.
I think that for us it's going to be really important to take that time, and that was something, having been elected in 2012 when we lost government, and we quickly, Terry...
Yeah, no, he was talking about, he covered every election since 1990s elections.
And things like that.
And it said it's getting harder and harder. The actual TV coverage of each election night was likely bungee jumping to a data stream, and it's fair, but I don't think he was serious. But man, he would be...
is something that I certainly will be urging.
He's not announced he's retiring.
Just heard there from Anthony.
It's just saying, like, I'll be very old by that time.
Winning a lot of urban seats in the...
I do think Anthony Green will retire after the next federal election. That's the vibe I get.
Okay.
Well, certainly, we'll still have two predominant...
By that point, he's been doing it for, over 32 years?
Yep, he is currently at... I think it was the 91 or something Tasmanian election was the first one he ever did, and then he did 93 was the first federal election he did.
Right, so it's gonna be like 34 years. This guy here, he looks like a older, fatter Simon Crean. I know Simon Crean's dead, but that's what he looks like.
Rest in peace, Simon Crean.
Rest in peace, Simon Crean.
Patterns or habits or where they domicile, where they live.
Thank you, Barry. Well, we have live pictures coming in from the CLP's HQ at the Italian club.
Something says Look T is right, so we got someone verifying what Look T is saying.
Across to the new chief minister in a moment.
Look T says knighthoods need to come back for Anthony Green. I agree with that.
And, Barry, what do you
They would have stayed around if Abbott hadn't knighted Prince Philip for some weird reason.
If Abbott was still Prime Minister, he would knight Anthony Green.
That it's arrived, looks like arriving.
Jacob Rees-Mogg says, but if my man wants to go out for a smoko or whatever kind, durries, a cheeky vape, hell, even a nice spiff, by the end of the night, I reckon Anthony deserves it.
How long are we going to wait for this? Like, they've been having the camera on the... I'm already 5 minutes over time.
Leah Finocchiaro has made history.
I don't know. Jacob Rees-Mogg says Anthony should be considered for president when we become a republic. Him or Bob Carr? Bob Carr? I don't think Bob Carr will go down.
Oh, actually, also, by the way, the NT has just gone through 3 female leaders in a row. I don't think any jurisdiction in Australia has had that happen yet.
I think Melandiri went higher at one point.
Did they? Well,
so as in, like, there's 3 anti-chief ministers in a row.
Who have all been women.
Oh.
But it's a huge primary vote. She should be...
So it was Natasha Files, Eva Lawler, and now Leah Finocchiaro.
She comes in under 40.
I think Everingham
Mulca, the independent, is ahead, it looks like. I think he'll probably retain that seat.
Leo also, one of the youngest members.
The volunteers, the amount of people that came.
Jacob Rees-Mogg says feminism goals.
And I believe that she encouraged.
Well, I'd say it's a positive sign. I'd say the NT is looking like... The NT's actually done a good job at reaching both parity for women and for Aboriginals. I think they've done a very good job in terms of their government makeup.
Incredible Bulk says, I think Anthony Green is quite old, so fair enough his time. I think Chopper, the comedian, should become Australian president. Who's Chopper the comedian?
Also, actually... I don't know. Also, interesting thing, Leah Finocchiaro is married to former NT Chief Minister Dennis Burke's son. So, her father-in-law is a former Chief Minister.
Pretty jubilant mood there at the Italian club.
He might be at the club, actually.
As Barry says, scores of volunteers.
I think Chopper the comedian is some edgy comedian guy.
To be honest, I've seen a few Australian comedians, and most of them are just so crass I can't watch them.
I'll send you a guy. I'll send you an Australian comedian I actually like. It looks like she's about to do a speech.
Yeah.
So we made it, Sormon. We made it to
both speeches. Woo! Celebrate good times. Come on. Oh, it's so much fun. I don't think actually once she's finished her speech, they might shut down the broadcast. So we might actually made it to the end of an ABC broadcast of an election. Enjoy this, viewers, guys, because this is not happening again. We are not going this long. We're not going to go to the end of it. Because I'm going to go for 5 hours or something.
That cut through to the extent that we're seeing tonight.
I'm not sure. As I said, I wasn't involved in the campaign strategy, but I think that...
I know, it feels a little odd that the CLP uses the colours of the NT flag. It feels a little bit a little dodgy in some respects.
It's all about nationalism or territorialism or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. What's funny is in the US, both political parties use red, white, and blue. Just the Republicans emphasize the red and the Democrats emphasize the blue, but they still use the red and white in their marketing.
On the one page, and that's paid off tonight.
And that was something that I noticed at the press conferences. She was dead on message every single time she was talking. It was always, she'd say the same thing over and over again, but she knew what the messages were and she stuck to it.
She hasn't deviated for 2 or 3 years, actually, but even in her debates and her personal...
My mum is scolding me for gambling $15 on this election.
Well, I hope you learn a lesson today, but you keep gambling, so probably not.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Start my speech by thanking Prime Minister Anthony Albanese for making me redundant so I could devote myself full-time to this campaign.
What was that about?
He was taking selfies, I guess. I don't know.
No. Albanese must have made made him redundant. Did he lose a seat to? I don't know. I don't know what he's referring to. Could someone explain in the chat what he's referring to Albanese making him redundant?
Deputy Leader of the Liberal Party, Susan Lee, who's been up here with us.
Oh yeah, so Susan Lee's been here. She's Liberal, so yeah, okay, they've got a few Liberals here. Yeah, so a few federal members are here. Shane Stone, former CLP Chief Minister.
Can I say to all our other friends from around Australia, from the Liberal and National parties, thank you for your help and support.
Oh, okay. I think he might have been a member for a federal agency Yeah, it was Coordinator General of the National Recovery and Resilience Agency. And the agency was abolished by Albanese.
Jacob Rees-Mogg says, don't you think it's risky for a place to have an Italian PM and an Italian Chief Minister? This has been my main argument to undecided voters about whether we really want an Italian PM and Premier.
They're Australians first and foremost. I don't care about their last names.
What do you think? Do you think they're gonna make the national currency spaghetti or something. Why are you worried about an Italian PM and Premier?
They might be going like this.
That's the new Australian accent, mandated.
But I should actually pay attention to this because this is the Liberals laying out their strategy for elections elsewhere. Hey, he just rebuked Scott Morrison there. He said, "I don't believe in political miracles. I believe in political hard work."
Oh.
It is no easy task to stand for public office, as I know.
Didn't someone steal Morrison's miracles line? I can't remember if it was like a state government or something said it. Oh, I think no, maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember when the Liberals won that seat that Labor didn't run in. I think one of their candidates said it's a miracle we won such a huge result. And like, no, it isn't.
Old T says Albo is barely Italian. He doesn't have a seizure with his hands every time he speaks.
No, get into racist stuff. Do I just go all the way? Go on.
See how he says Mario for PM and Luigi for Deputy PM.
Look, Friendly Jordy's already made all those jokes on John Barilaro.
Yeah, and that's why he got firebombed because he made jokes.
John Barilaro used the fire flower. Boop, boop, boop.
Oh my god.
It's interesting that like Files is not starting the siege. Oh, here we go.
Are we supposed to be listening to her?
I was just interested in listening to this what's his name? This Shane Stone guy, because it's interesting. Like he's sort of laying out how he feels that the CLP will win future elections. So yeah, he was the chief minister and like one of the last chief ministers before the CLP lost in 2001. He wasn't the last one. He got replaced by a guy called Sukada. Sukada went on to. Oh no, Sukada was the. What? I don't know. I remember the little readings.
Frederick SA says the new SA opposition leader is also from an Italian background and is the WA Deputy Premier. So lots of Italians.
A short time ago, I received a call from Eva Lawler, and I want to thank her on behalf of all Territorians for her service and dedication and commitment to the Northern Territory.
It's going to be interesting when she gets to National Cabinet and so Albo's going to have to deal with one less Labour ally at the table.
Liberal Party Chief Minister of the Northern
It's kind of, I will admit, a part of me is a bit of a Labour shield sometimes, was kind of hoping for like a Labour finally getting a clean sweep of all the states and territories, but it looks like I think that's definitely not happening for a while. It's over.
It's over. It was so close. If it wasn't for Labour Party in Tasmania completely cucking out, we could have had it.
Yeah.
But it's over.
Because I'm pretty confident that the CLP will be in power for 8 years at least.
Deputy NT Chief Minister Chancey Peach, now the likeliest to become new Labour Party leader after retaining his seat. 6 News understands.
Who's? Oh, 6 News.
6 News. 6 News is like those teenagers running that news channel.
Yeah, no, they know their stuff.
They do know their stuff. That's right.
So, which member was it?
Chancey Peach. I'm actually not sure what seat they're from.
have used their voice to stand up against Labor, who have taken them for granted for far too long. Territorians have stood up against nearly 2 decades of escalating crime, an economy going backwards, and the erosion.
Remember for Gwuja, which is I think that might be North Darwin.
But tomorrow is the start.
Yeah,
Right.
Chansey. Is it Peach or is it Peach?
Probably Pate. Probably Page. Yeah.
He is. He's Deputy Chief Minister, Attorney General, Minister for Justice. Yeah. So it's the one that's basically the entire Western Australian border. So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
To take control of their future by electing a strong, united team of Territorians with the real world and government experience.
They're also they keep on talking about Italians in the chat. I'm not gonna read out all of these comments. A5 Cubing and more says this could be disastrous in Queensland and Labor could lose.
Yeah,
that's very true.
I don't think it's as. I think it's a bit different to what's going on.
Our team has been out on the ground, right across the territory, listening to Territorians.
Look T says, fun fact: the coalition now has more state territory female leaders than Labor. Labor has 2 female leaders, Vic and NT, while the coalition has 3, WA, NT, and ACT. Interesting.
Yes.
The great people of the Northern
Who's
Territory
the coalition leader in WA? What's their name?
Oh, it's the Nationals leader.
Oh, that's right. I forgot the Nationals were the opposition there.
Yeah, what's her name? It is. No, the Liberal leader is Libby Melton, but the Nationals leader is Shane Love. It's a guy.
Territorians want to live in a place
Right. Okay.
values of what it is to be Territorian. A place
CLP now at 60.5% of two-party preferred, it sounds like, according to Jared Walsh.
Yeah.
natural landscapes.
Jacob Rees-Mogg says, trust me, there's a much stronger anti-Italian sentiment in the ground here, Jay.
Oh, Karma, my seat has finally been called as a CLP gain. It's unfortunate. Sorry, Nagata Kit.
That's in Darwin, right?
Yeah, it's the one I'm in. I'm the electorate.
Yeah.
Later ahead Nightcliff is the Greens. Greens are still ahead in Fanny Bay, but I don't think it's been updated in a while.
Tomorrow I will meet with
I kind of want the Greens to be in Fanny Bay because I think good on them.
Chief Minister and Cabinet to outline the immediate work that must begin to make the Territory safe. We will do whatever it takes.
Wouldn't be surprised if the Greens only hold it for one term, though. That's very likely.
We will do whatever it takes to restore community safety. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Territorians who believe.
Rest in peace, Territorial Alliance. It was nice while you lasted for one.
They were already gone before.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
I also pledge to all
You tried.
Territorians that we will make this great place even better.
The only Labor MLA ahead in Darwin is Nightcliff. Yep. It's very sad.
Wait,
and even there, they're getting a run for their money by the Greens.
Yeah.
To my parliamentary team, my amazing parliamentary team, give a huge round of applause to Jared Maley, Murray Claire Boothby.
Okay, she's just announcing all the new members.
Joe Hersey, Steve Edgington, Bill Yan, Josh Burgoyne. Thank you.
Jacob Rees-Mogg says, I'm sure there won't be any human rights abuses committed by the CLP in their pursuit for eliminating crime. Yeah, I'm sure too.
Yeah, there is a possibility that the CLP overstepped their bounds. I don't know how much of how far right of a party they are. It doesn't seem like. I don't know what I don't know a huge amount about Leah personally. Obviously, I haven't grown up. I lived in this area, seeing what she says.
Lower the age of criminal responsibility to 3 years old. By 3, they should know the difference between right and wrong.
Oh dear, I should laugh as people
If they know by 3 years old not to put Lego in their mouths, they should know the difference between right and wrong.
And will always be part of the CLP family. You put up your hand to fight for change, and you have done yourself.
Go to prison for putting Lego in your mouth.
The CLP and the Northern Territory exceptionally proud.
It's a victimless crime. No, it isn't.
To our fearless CLP President Shane Stone, thank you.
Incredible Bulk says, I have no clue about anti-Italians, but they have good pizza and pasta, and my only family is from Italy.
Actually, what's funny is most people actually hate Italian cooking. They're like the Americanized version of Italian cooking.
Mm.
To every single CLP member, to all
Sormon's 50-50 prediction of the coalition is coming true eventually. What was your 50-50 prediction of the coalition?
Yeah, can you remind me what that was?
territory's future is secured under a CLP government.
I don't know what my 50-50 prediction was. You have to remind me of that one. But I'm feeling a little bit proud because I feel like I was the only one here that predicted a... well, I didn't predict it. I said there's a solid possibility of it.
But you dug deep because you believe the territory can be better. And with this
I guess what I just didn't predict was North Darwin flipping so bad. But
than the territory of today. And finally, on behalf
So yeah, I think Labor has to really worry about both Solomon and Lingiari, especially Solomon actually at this point.
yeah, well, Solomon is one of those seats that like, you think, because it's less Aboriginal affected Solomon than Lingiari is obviously where mostly Aboriginals live. But yeah, Solomon could show that even like the non-Aboriginals are not happy with Labor.
our driving force, our constant reminder of why we fight and what
The prediction not really was, could the coalition make a comeback?
is a turning point for the territory, and we are full of hope and
That's what he's talking about, the 50-50 prediction.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think they're always going to make a comeback. I just guess I'm surprised they're making a comeback without
Country's 14th Chief Minister Leah Finocchiaro addressing her supporters there.
Yeah, something. I also thought that the CLP would probably only get like 13, 14 seats.
Yeah, well, I think Anthony Green might do a little last minute count, but from what I've seen, if we go with the seats I've already got, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I've got 16 for the CLP, 5 for Labor and 4 independents, which ones are green.
Yeah.
And so the independents are going to be Arulin in Alice Springs, Fanny Bay in the north part of the CBD, Johnston, and Mocha.
Johnston that's that woman, right?
Yeah, that's like the one that's like the major shopping centre in North Darwin.
Right.
Actually, no, it's the one with the airport, I think. No, sorry.
Look, T says, I'm saying Lingiari is a flip and Solomon is a toss-up now. The redistribution is probably going to make Solomon more marginal, so that's why I'm thinking Solomon could also go now at this point.
Yeah, I think Labor will hold Solomon, just because federal politics is a bit different, but I'd do it. Solomon is going to be in play, though. I'm actually going to check Solomon right now.
So something, so something, he deleted his post, but he said there was a 23% swing to Labor in Arafura, but it was actually more of a 7% swing because there was a by-election where Labor picked up a huge...
So yeah, here's the district of Solomon. Labor won it with... They only won 40% of the vote. The Greens won 14%. But they hold 60%.
You did a pretty good prediction, Look T. Yeah, it's a 9.37% margin, which is big, but there's been some big swings in this territory election.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to also check something. Electorates. Live results. Here we go. View party totals. Actually, come to think of it, I don't think it would. But with 49.4% of the vote, if the CLP replicated that in the federal election, would that get them both senators?
No. They need they need like 66% of the vote. Like at least the 66% of the two-party preferred, basically.
No, you don't, because you only need 100% divided by
3.
No, divided by 4, because exhausted votes. So with the 2-seat, right, it's going to be 1/3 for one seat, 1/3 for the other seat. So it's 33.3% for one, 33.3% for the other, and then the remaining 33.2%. That's just discarded. So it's a bit different. It's not actually, you don't need half the vote. You need. Well, actually, yeah. If you get to like 51%, you get both seats. It's just how it works, I think.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Are you curious? A quota is not a quota for 2 seats is 33%. It's not 50%.
Exactly. So if Labor gets like 30%, they should be fine. If it gets 26%, they should be fine. Because remember, there's Greens preferences as well.
Yeah.
So like for this election, for example, they got 29%. And then Greens got like 9%. So after Greens preferences, to get over 33%, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
A5 Cubing and More says, I think federal Labor should start negotiating minority government before Labor loses control.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
They maybe should do that, but they won't do that. So, yeah. All right, it is getting up to 3.5 hours now. We have had both speeches.
I think we're done. So if there's anything else you want to say, I think we're going to call it quits.
Congratulations to the CLP. Kind of interesting to see how these last seats will go, but
I think I can guarantee it's 16 to the CLP, 5 to Labor, and 4 Independents. All right.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah.
I'm going to end the stream there, guys. Hopefully you had a lovely time, and I guess we'll see you in a month's time to cover the ACT election. Until then, see you later. Right, bye.
Bye, and thank you, Sormon, for having me.
You're welcome.
Well, Adam Giles never worked out why Kizzy Apuric always gave me the caller speaker was because I had to go and feed